afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on folks. This man always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, we just had a wrap for the weekend. We had a couple of shows that hit over the this past weekend. There's Chicago, not Chicago, in Florida. There was a Hurricane Pro, and also there was the new Mexican Pro in Mexico. It was with Hurricane Pro, they didn't have wins by the win physique. The winner, I forgot who's the winner of that show. It was Tessa Metz. Tessa Metz. She's from my next door neighbor in South Carolina. That's going to be her second time for Olympic qualification. And also, at the Mexican Pro, we have a winner. And you guys, you know how I am. You know how I just have my particular thoughts on particularly certain people winning shows where they're already qualified for the Olympia. I get the shot, and that is Natalia Cuejo. She has won. It's just barely, I think, barely 2 weeks. Just barely 2 weeks after winning her Olympic qualification, she's now, just her. I think it's her third pro show outside the Olympia she did this year. I'm hoping she doesn't do another. I know people are fans of hers. I've often said this. I'm not a big fan of hers personally. I think she has amazing physique. She has a good quality of muscle, but I'm kind of standoffish when I see somebody who's already got their spot and she's already qualified, for the Olympia. She's won the title. She's with a mom. Congratulations. Yeah. And also, this was a shocker that, as you know, Jessica Reyes-Padilla was also competing in the show. And here's Jessica, and she took second. And you wouldn't surprise who beat her. And this is something, because I'm not a big fan of hers either, but I'm less of a fan of hers than I am compared to Natalia. And who beat her for the title was Lena Rimsteiner. And Lena's a young competitor. It's actually at Olympia, Lena got 8th place. And she beat the woman who's number 3 in the world, who's been number 2 in the world in the Olympia for figure. And Lena, congratulations. I mean, she's a young competitor, got a great look to her. I follow her on social media, and I think, I hope she does well. Maybe she might even place a little better after this Olympia. But congratulations to Lena and also Natalia, and also shout out to Brianna Terry, who this is her pro debut, and shout out to her. She's an amazing young lady. Just very passionate about the sport of bodybuilding. I wish y'all the best of luck in the future. So, folks, one thing I do like to point out things that people who talk about what's going on in the world of bodybuilding is certain things have happened. I don't know if you pay attention to it. I know a lot of you guys are more a fan of about the women of muscle, some are a fan of the sport, but there's some little wiggle room going around. And it's all perpetrated by the former physique champion, the 4-time women's physique champion, and current the first runner-up this year, Sarah Vilgas. Sarah is making some comments, and a lot of people don't like what she's doing. It seems like it's a sign of bad behavior, and it should be. This is a sport where everybody should respect each other as a competitor. Understand that, hey, if you don't come in your best condition, your best shape, especially for a big show like the Olympia, then the judge is going to go with the person who has that best condition, the best look, or just that person who has the aesthetics that they feel are pleasing compared to for the division. And she posted some comments, and a lot of people are not very happy about her comments. Again, you got to choose your words wisely. I know that when she lost to Natalia back in 2022, she was had a little decorum, but this time around, it seems like she's just straight, kind of bit on the nasty side. Making comments about issues with bots. I'm going to pull this up in a bit, and it's something that she posted on her IG because I have 2 IG accounts, and my Main IG account is an all the rage. She follows me, I follow her, and my other IG account is George Page. I can't follow because she took and she privatized that account. And this is somebody sending some this is some stuff I saw some people send it to me. They tagged me and also they sent it to me on my IG. This is one here where she made some comments. Here she says, we didn't. Let me see if I can expand it a little bit. She's, I'm trying to read it because it's a little bit small. Yeah, folks, I got old man eyes, so let me try to get my focus in. If y'all can see it, and I will read a comment here. This is Sarah sitting with her. She has 4 titles as the Women's Physique, and also she has her 2 medals, for second place. And she commented with this. Give me a second, folks. I gotta, I thought it'd be a little more bigger so I can see better, but I'm an old man getting these old man eyes. But I'll try to read it for you best I can, folks. And it says this. It says, "Damn, I can't read that shit. It's so small. Let me see this one here. Thought it'd be a little larger. Let me see if I can expand it more on this one. I think this one would be here. Well, I'll get back to it, folks. But I got some guests waiting in the theater right now. I want to bring them in, so we'll get to it when I gotta pull them up again because I don't know why. I thought it'd be a little more bigger, but I guess I should have edited a little bit so I could see it better. My fault. But we have some guests here to talk about this. We have here my nephew here. He was there about a couple weeks ago. My man Alex. Welcome back, Alex.
Good to be back, George.
Yeah, good to have you back, son. Appreciate it. He is. He was there at the Olympia with his boots on the ground, 10 toes down. Shout out to Alex. Also, I have a couple of guests. You guys, we got some ladies. I know. I know you guys are looking for some ladies. We have here the lovely Mrs. Lynn Buscemi. And Lynn is a competitor. We last saw her was at the Universe and interviewed her. I think was it maybe the month before the show?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's when we did our interview, like right before I competed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me back. And again,
You're
nice
welcome.
to meet you, Lynn. Nice to meet you, Alex.
Also, we have here another guest. Is a lady who's now she's also at the same show with Lynn, and that was the Universe, and she is now a new IFB pro, the lovely Mrs. Abby,
Lopez.
Lopez.
Oh, no relation to Martin. No relation to Martin Lopez.
Have a tongue tie a little bit. Abby, she is, she both her and Lynn was at the Universe. Abby got a pro card, Lynn didn't. I mean, wish her best of luck, possibly maybe next year because some circumstances happen. But
congratulations,
as I was often told by
she's got it.
Yeah, it's
not.
Hey,
I'll take my third.
Yeah, like I said, it's not a race, it's a marathon. So these ladies were talking to me about what their thoughts about the situation, and both ladies have met some of these ladies in the past, both Natalia and Sarah. So we're going to start off here with the IFB Pro. What's your thoughts?
I think it's wrong. I don't think that anybody should be slandering anybody over the internet in any way, shape, or form. I think it's wrong. I mean, you can be competitive, but you don't have to be mean and nasty.
Mm-hmm. And Lynn, your thoughts?
Same as Abby, I mean, we expect this from our guys, but us women should be a little bit more on the classy side, I think. We're already kind of frowned upon, for having muscles and everything like that. And you're going to add in some of this catty BS, just, makes us look worse, So, like Abby said, what is said behind closed doors between the two of them, should stay between the two of them and not for the world to see. But we do live in this social media world now where everybody puts everybody's business everywhere. So I kind of expected it from Sarah just because of past how she's acted in the past when she's not won. So, you know, and it's sad because I've had the opportunity to meet her and she was very pleasant when I met her. And, I think her crown has gone to her head a little too far. And it's sad, it really is because, this is who we look up to. This is who we aspire to be. This is where we would like to be. She should take it with grace. Second is not the end of the world. She's come back and redeemed herself before, just as Natalia has, so this is a battle between the two of them. And, I'm just glad that Natalia's stayed on the classier side and is a better representation of what our Miss Olympia should be.
Well, yeah, I think they both have had this kind of relationship. It's very continued, kind of very what's the word say? Very what's the best word to say it? It's very
Catty.
it's very confrontational.
Yes.
I remember was it about a couple years ago they did like a little like how they had like a little meeting and you could
Yes.
I was watching it live and you could feel in the room how it was
Yeah.
just like
It's
like
tense.
sitting there, yeah, like watching a mongoose and a cobra in the room together.
Yeah. Wasn't that at one of the Olympia? That was at the Olympia. That was at the
It was
Olympia, I
like
believe.
it was Olympia battle. It was like I think it was
Yeah.
that year before last. And
Yeah.
because they had different little things. Like you had the one with Andrea and Ashley and Angela, and then I think that was the one they had that before that one, and it has
Yeah.
another for the guys. But folks, we got some comments here. We got some people sitting in the comment section, and I got a lot of people. I mean, I appreciate sharing with the link with some of the ladies. And they got some people here. Here we have here a man, Emmanuel. He says this. He says, uh, hey, I thought I clicked it. My computer's acting slow. I'm gonna act slow now. Here he goes. He says, where is it? Come on, there he goes. There it is. Hey George, what's up? Not much, brother. How about you? Also, this is somebody new. This is from Michael. Michael, I'm gonna pronounce your last name because I don't want to mess it up. He says, "What's
Mascalo?
up in the house?"
Mascalo?
Who?
Mascalo?
Oh, is
Michael
that a friend of yours?
Mascalo. No.
Oh, I one time one of your friends came in with
I'm
an
just good
interview.
at
I
names.
remember. Yeah, and I'm from the country. I say how I spell it. So this is my friend Manuel says Cervicus has stirred up controversies recently. Me and other female bodybuilding competitors have spoken about it in private and shared our thoughts on it. We think she's ruined her career now. Possibly. Also,
Possibly.
this is yeah, and this is from Manuel. It says this says Sarah will eventually face professional consequences as a result of this. What she did was very petty and it makes her look bad. And the thing is, shout out to my man Michael. He says this to you, Abby. He says Queen Abby in the house, cool show, PTW. Also, this is from my man. Shout out to my man Raheem Hamilton. He says rivalry is a good thing for sports all around. Sports in general is boring when there is no rivalry. That's the thing is it good for business? Especially if it's like done in a classy, like I remember watching sports like football and basketball, how the boxing, the fighters and the football players would react to each other, press conferences. That was more like a little bit of respect, but this is not so much about respect.
This, first of all, bodybuilding is not boxing. We're judged totally different. So you do expect to see that kind of behavior with MMA, boxing, some slap talk and stuff. But this is bodybuilding. We should be lifting each other up. We all come in. We all have different packages that we're bringing to the stage. We all have different things. I'm gonna have to disagree with him that I don't think it was right, and I do believe that Sarah should get it under control because this could potentially hurt her for the future. That I don't think Jake would want something like that representing the sport. We could get into things that happened with Kai Green back a while ago and why he didn't make Mr. Olympia for certain things that he had done. So if Sarah isn't careful, I think she could potentially be looking at third, fourth, or fifth next year. I mean, there's some up and coming girls in WPD right now that are looking spectacular that could even possibly pass up Natalia. So I think Sarah should keep her comments in check, and maybe have a little powwow with Natalia behind closed doors.
Hmm. Abby?
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, I mean, like I said, there's a way to be competitive and then there's a way to take it out of that. And I think that she took it way farther than it ever needed to go. And really, bodybuilding's, I mean, you're against the people on stage, but you're also against yourself.
Yep.
So if you come to the stage looking better than you did last year, you won. In my eyes, that's how I see it. So nobody should be picking on anybody for anything when it comes to being on stage because we're all there, we're all giving 100%. And I don't agree with how she was being towards Natalia at all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, say she's using the oil and it's wrong. I mean, then PEDs are wrong. I mean, anything that's enhancing you should be wrong then. What's the difference between oils and PEDs? I mean, and everyone in every division in the Olympia uses it all the way from bikini up to men's open. And anyone who says that they haven't used oil is lying. I'm not saying all the competitors have used oil, but a good majority of them have. Chris Bumstead was told to have used it last year when he had the bicep injury, to fix his one bicep so it looked a little bit more even because he had that bicep tear. Was it ever true? Who knows? But I mean, to say, well, she used oil, well, Sarah, you use PEDs. So, I mean, what's the difference?
Hmm.
Yeah, we could go
I
back
remember
and
there was
forth all
a,
day.
Yeah,
You're using this, you're using this, you're
yeah,
using this. But
exactly.
it's
I
just a
mean,
never-ending conversation. But
yeah.
that's not even what it's
It's
about.
not cheating. I mean, they're both putting in the work in the gym. You think because you use PEDs or a little oil that enhanced you so much that you won the Olympia, No, the hard work, the dedication on both their parts. They Natalia came in, she was leaner, she looked better. Her abs were phenomenal this year. Her her glutes looked amazing. Sarah looked soft to me this year. You know, I think the better person won, oil or not.
yeah. I remember, was it, I think it was somebody talked about a wellness competitor. She was using a lot, and and then it seemed like
Sunny.
it just didn't make her. Yeah, yeah, that's what Dr. Sunny. They talked about her, and we had not seen her competed since I think
Since it
last couple of
happened.
years.
Correct.
Yeah.
But I mean, and again,
Hmm.
for Sarah to make the comment, oil Olympia, then you need to talk to the bikini girls, you need to talk to the wellness girls, you need to talk to the men's physique, the classics, the open, the figure, the WPD, maybe some women bodybuilders. I mean, come on. It is what it is. They got there because they have muscle and then maybe enhanced it a little bit more. Oil's not going to
The thing
enhance you
about it,
that much.
it's a tool.
That's my
It might be
opinion.
something to help you. Yeah, it's a tool. It helps you something maybe fill in some spots. But then
Yeah.
also the men sometimes when they like when we talked about earlier, what you talked about with the Kai Green and him and Phil East rivalry back in the day. That got a lot of attention, but I think the men get a little more leeway than women do.
Yeah. It's expected from the men, but if a woman does it, oh my God, it's the end of the world. you know, it it is what it is. I mean, I've literally been at shows like amateur shows where people have used oil, and you can literally see as they're flexing because they did the oil right before they went on stage. You're not supposed to do that, and as they flex, the oil's coming out of their skin. But who am I to judge them? Big deal. Okay, so you did it. Like, I don't want somebody judging me for what I do.
Mhm. Yeah.
You
It's a
know?
sport. It's about competition. You don't,
Yeah.
some like back in the day, was it in baseball where some pitchers would put like a
Oh
kind of
yeah,
a yeah,
the
we put a little
ball.
like a on the ball on the ball so to make the
Yeah.
ball go faster, or
Yep.
or hitters we use pine tar,
Yeah.
or like it wasn't that long ago there was a whole debate on steroids in baseball. But you got to think
Yeah.
about it. These guys are millionaires. If they want to take something to help them hit, because one thing is the ball, steroids don't make you hit the ball harder. It
No,
just helps your process and your training.
just like the PEDs are not going to make you. I mean, you still got to put the work in, and the oil is not going to give you muscle. It's just going to fill in those little imperfections. You know, Now, in the wellness girls, it does give them a nicer butt. I'm not gonna lie. They got some nice booties in that wellness category. You know, I'm curious on how many of those girls are really using oil in those glutes because those are some nice glutes.
It got to be a talent, And we talk about, as you talk about the one division that I think they're talking about right now that's getting a lot of attention is coming in, and that is, I just can't, on my tongue, is what fit model.
Yeah.
And they talk about that it's going to be supposed to be a little bit more natural because you want to go back to throwback. But then after a while, if you look at it like how if you mentioned bikini competitors, I remember when somebody told me, she's a friend of mine. She works as an amateur judge. She used to be an IB pro bodybuilder, and she mentioned how she had a bikini competitor say that, hey, ask about what kind of stuff she used when she was training. I said, wait a minute, it's one thing if you are, in like divisions like figure or physique or
Kitty,
elite bodybuilding.
I get,
And yeah,
sorry, I didn't
yeah,
mean to interrupt.
it says that's all right. And
He just does what he wants.
and
Sorry.
that's not a problem. Many times I had dogs, cats get in the middle of it, in the middle of live. It's nothing new. Just these guys. But if you look at that division where it's supposed to be more feminine, these women are getting to the level of I would say the bikini girls right now even bigger than the girls when women's bodybuilding first came out.
I know a bikini girl amateur. When she told me what her cycle was, it was far more greater than what I. I'm like, why are you? But to each is his own, and who am I to judge?
Yeah.
Her coach.
We,
That's between her and her coach. But
Yeah.
you're right. I mean, these different divisions now, from being the more feminine to the muscle mommies and whatever you want to call us, are totally different. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to be judged. I'm happy. Like, I do this because this makes me happy. And do I get stared at sometimes? Yes. Do I have people come up and say, "Oh my God, this is awesome"? I've got rude comments. I've gotten great comments, and you know, I used to let it bother me, the rude ones. Now I just like laugh. You don't pay my bills, so why do I
yeah.
care what you guys think? So I have to take the same attitude. So why do I care what somebody else is doing? But I do care when I'm watching people bash other people for when they're doing the exact same thing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's wrong.
If
Yeah.
I mean, Sarah can pretend that she's never like, I work hard for what I've done. Well, so
We
has
all do.
Natalia. Yeah, you know,
Yeah, I don't care.
yeah.
Yeah, we all do.
So
That's not a thing.
yeah, I have a problem with that. Especially somebody that I actually looked up to. And I don't look up to her anymore. I mean, and it's sad. I mean, I had hoped, to get a pro card and do her show one time, and and she's just a spoiled little girl, is what I think now. And that's putting it kindly.
The thing is that
Abby knows. Abby knows how I feel.
here's one thing I'll say about Sarah. I'm not a big fan, but I respect what she was doing. Because,
Yes.
wasn't that long ago when Arnold pushed out the women's physique division from his show on Classic, and then he said, she offered to put up $20,000 her own money.
No, it was
Actually, her husband's money.
50,000 in all her medals. It was the prize money. So Sarah told Shanique, "Don't retire. Come back. Let me beat you. If you win, I'll give you 50,000. If you lose, you have to give me all your previous medals that you won." Shanique was like,
Yeah.
"I'm not gonna stoop down to that level." Shanique just laughed it off,
That's
And then also remember she put up prize money for Pittsburgh Pro, and that was the year that Natalia won, and then Natalia took her title, and she started to put up the prize money for Texas Pro. That's why I remember somebody saying she shouldn't be doing that. But the thing is, if it's not somebody within your sport, who is going to do it? You can't expect it from anybody else. We got here a guest. This is my man, Jeremy from Finn Physique Fan Number One. Shout out to him. He also has his own site where you can follow him. He is the Art of Female Muscle. You can check out his channel. He does interviews and content on women in bodybuilding. Welcome, brother. Thank you for coming through.
Hey, George, how's it going? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you pretty good. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you just
I don't
fine.
know if you're yeah, me too. Am I the only one hearing static right now?
Only from you, Alex.
Yeah, I'm only hearing it from you, Alex.
Yeah, it might be something with your connection.
I did nothing wrong. Yeah. My phone?
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Oh, yeah. It's all static. I hear everybody else.
Yeah. Usually I have my headphones on. I forgot to put them on this time. I just talking with y'all. I get a little echo in there. Oh, we got here some comments here before we get my man's thoughts on his on this. He says this is from shout out to a man, Josh Simpkins. He says this. He says shout out to Josh. He says, "What's good, George, Alex, Abby, and Lynn? What's good to you, brother?" Also, we get here from Michael. He says this comment. He says this. He says, "It's 2025. We all letting everyone build up inside out." Okay. Also, this is from Emmanuel. He says, "The fact that she didn't delete the post despite the backlash and blowback says a lot. It shows how brazen and octitious she is. Well, she's going to pay the price for it now. Maybe or maybe not." Also, this is from a man, Raheem says, "Bodybuilding is a sport. You want to grow. You want to grow." Okay, I'm saying. So what's your thoughts on it, brother? Because you've been following some of the stuff I've been following.
Oh, I'm not surprised at all. This is the triple whammy for her. That she's done this 2 other times before. I mean, she came onto her story and she accused Natalia of sending her messages via her or quote unquote fake Instagram accounts, and claimed that she had the receipts and that if she kept doing it, that she was going to display it for all to see. To my immediate knowledge, never once backed it up with any receipts whatsoever. That was the first time. Then she decides to go after Natalia by casting aspersions about her academic credentials.
Yeah.
Questioning whether or not she actually was a real doctor. The girl graduated with a 4.0 GPA and as an MD, in addition to all the stuff that she's doing in bodybuilding, in addition to doing all the other stuff in competing. So, but then Sarah decides to cast aspersions on that, and here she is the third time. Accusing her of oiling. What on earth does Sarah take for a single contest prep? That's what I'd like to know. What does she take in a year? How can she accuse Natalia when she's kind of sort of PEDing herself? So, because everybody on the pro level does that. Everybody on the pro level is taking some kind of PEDs in this. So for her to going out, known as the pot calling the kettle black. So I think it's kind of ridiculous. But then to show how insecure she is, then she not only first she limited all comments on her post in regards to that, accusing Natalia of oiling up. Then she privatized her account. And then she goes in the story and saying, oh, well, all these bots that Natalia is sending her. It never even occurs to her that other people, other fans, other competitors, human beings, not machines, might happen to disagree with her. That apparently doesn't even cross her mind to show how insecure she is. So it just boggles my mind that someone who's a top competitor in the game acts like this. I mean,
have
to
to
me,
agree.
that's just ridiculous. I mean, she's gotten raked over the coals for it on social media.
I mean,
So-
and it was, and if you look at it, you know, I don't know how many, I'm sure George follows a ton of these other sites as well, but a lot of, you know, Sean Ray put out something, Dusty Henshaw put out something, you know, calling Sarah out, and all the people, you know, coming on and, you know, obviously to Natalia's defense as well. But I mean, we've had several male bodybuilders, well known male bodybuilders, calling Sarah out. And a couple of Sarah's fans on there, you know, obviously backing Sarah up too. But I mean, we have several men out there that were like, Sarah, this is not bots. You know, we are human
Right.
beings, you know, that don't agree with the way you're behaving, you know. So like I told George, I
She
have
posted this. She posted this. This is like
yeah.
what pull up here is he says studying my competition, especially delts, where it was and also this he also put out just recently, where she says this. If you read it, follow it, and she says this. He says, "Thank you for all my people for all the DMs, messages, and calls of support. Just know that I really appreciate, love you guys. We are working, never stopped." Here's the thing: is you should have said that first instead of doing this. You could have just said, "Hey, I took a loss, and I'm just going to come back better." That was so a good example where of a good champion, or a former champion. But then you did this, and no
Or
one
even
really
coming
respects.
out and saying, you know, hey, I lost. I have my opinion on why I may have lost, you know, and leaving it at that. You know, she did not have to get dirty. You know, I'm sorry. That's dirty. It's catty. It's not classy. It's uncalled for. And I have several other words that are not appropriate.
Yeah,
So,
we got a couple here from man Raheem. He says this. He says, "Sarah's natural." That's a suspect.
so am I.
Also, he also is a man from man where it says Raheem. Apparently, she's on peds as well, as it seems hypocritical for her to make that post when she's doing the same thing.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
yeah, and also Raheem says, "Okay, cool." Also, my man Raheem says this. He says, "The outcome is the other women's won. Sarah didn't. Sarah can pop junk, but at the end of the day, Sarah lost." Well, here's the man who made that comment. My man Raheem Hamilton. And yeah, son, you made a scene of the crime, huh?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Hello.
Congratulations on your wedding.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
congratulations. Nice. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. I'm good.
What,
Glad to be
what,
on
Can
the
you hear,
show.
can you all hear me better? I don't know what was going on earlier. There was a lot of stag. I did hear you guys. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know what was going on. It took me a while to get back on.
That's all
It's
right.
not
That's all right.
staticky now, Alex. You sound
Yeah, we
good.
hear ya.
Yeah, yeah. So
Sure. I don't know
Raheem,
what that
you're
was all
here.
about. This isn't the
So
first time
Raheem,
this
you're
ever
here.
happened.
Okay. Raheem, you're here. So what's your thoughts, son?
Well, my thoughts about this is this. Competition is a good thing. Rivalry is a good thing, but it's a different way to handle and do it. Um, First of all, like I said in this early in the comment, rivalry is good for all sports because as right now, sports in general is just boring. NFL, boring, really no rivalry. Basketball, no rivalry because everybody want to be friends and play with each other. Um, with bodybuilding, if you want to bring it out, you want to have that competition. When I say competition, is like basically say, well, when we on stage, I'm not your friend. That's what it is. Like we could be with competitors, like Michael Jordan. Michael said, when I'm on the court, we're not friends. Off the court, we're cool. But there's a professional way to do a rivalry. What what that young lady did, that's not professional in any way. You lose, you lose. You know what I mean? Granted, you won last year and the year before. I guess you was 4 times. So you lost this time. You go, okay, okay, you got that. I'll see you next year. I go back to the lab. You know, do what I have to do and everything. But putting accusations out there or putting things that's if it's personal, question someone's credentials and everything, that's petty. That's what it is. It's pettiness, you know. When you question an individual's academics and you're not there, you don't know this person and everything. So
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
you should never do that. But at the end of the day, I guess this lady Sarah doesn't understand the difference between being a rival and being catty. It's more like she's more still in high school and not an adult. So that's why I say with this situation.
Yeah.
So you got here, my man KL the Wonder. He's popped in. You know,
Hey,
he's more of a
Hey, good
fan
to
of the
see
sport.
you.
hey, what's going on?
Yeah,
How you doing?
Hey, Kayla.
hey, yeah,
Right.
and he doesn't have you paid attention to much what's going on because I know you're more about the women of muscle than you know about the sport.
I just seen like some clips with what's her name? With what's her name again? True Missy Truscott and Padilla girl.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
that one
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it was when they were at the press conference pre the Olympia. That's the one I think that was really I think some people saw it because some say it was not in good taste for Missy. You know, and here it is. I was looking for this because this is another example of was it good taste or not.
The confidence thing, she's exuding it, I think. But I don't think it's authentic. When did you get busted for editing your photos? Sorry, go ahead, go ahead.
See that she should have been there, Missy. No offense, I'm a fan of Missy, but she should have been there. It should have been Lola in the place because Lola was number 3 in the world for the last couple of years, and she should have set it out. But this is the thing is, it was the IFBB and the Olympia that set that up. Because why not? Why are you not pushing the woman who is like number 3 in the world? I understand Missy being a former fitness champion, but it should have been fair that Lola should have been there.
I love Lola.
Oh, she's a sweetheart. I actually met her
I,
back in 2023. She was doing a photo shoot. I was waiting for my ride home that expo. She was walking by. I was like, "Oh, congratulations!" And afterwards she came back to me. We talked. We did a photo together. She's definitely a sweetheart.
yeah, she is. I, sh- she would be a great Miss Figaro. I'm still surprised she isn't. You know, I, I,
Yeah,
I think she looked amazing this year.
actually I posted a thing. I posted shared some people said if Lola does not win, I'm going to boycott the Olympia. She saw it, and we were talking back and forth, and she's pretty good in spirits about this. She understands.
You know what, she's got class too. She takes it and she just comes better every year. And I'm still really shocked because I think there's been a couple years that, as much as I love Sid Gillian, I think she's been a great representation for Figure Bissau. Um, there's been times that I thought Lola just looked tighter and nicer than Sid, and I thought for sure with Sid retiring that this was going to be Lola's year, and I don't know. I think she's gorgeous, and I think she's got a lot of class. So hopefully her time's coming very fast now.
We have here a comment from Randy Dean. Randy is also an amateur competitor herself. He says, "Hey George, I was a huge fan, Sarah fan. DIL, and I'm so disgusted and disappointed with her. Our sport should be one iron sisterhood. Natalia is the true role model, just really disrespectful. We have here from a man, Brad Baldy. He says, this year's Olympia was interesting. Lola definitely deserved the higher. I think she,
Yes.
yeah, I think she does. I think we were really Gail, and it was like a lot of people, like a lot of the bodybuilding, social media types were really shooting at either Jessica. The thing is, Jessica's
I
been
love
over.
Jessica though too. But I think Lola brought it this year, and I was disappointed that she didn't win.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, we have here a
Where
man, Josh Simpkins, coming through. It says,
Hey, what's
hello, Josh.
good? How's it
Hey,
going?
Josh.
What's
The
what's going
women's
on?
empire. The empire.
How's it going, Alex?
I'm
Yeah,
good.
yeah. It's just the thing about this, like Rahim says, rivalry is good, but how far is too far? When you talk about
rivalry
somebody,
is definitely good. It pushes you, but like he said, and like we said earlier, she's attacking her academics too. I mean, what does her academics and her degrees and have to do with bodybuilding? I mean, I know she said
Right.
she shortcutted,
Mm-hmm.
she supposedly shortcutted her degree. How do you shortcut a degree in a 4.0 GPA?
And a
you
medical
know,
degree on top of it.
What
exactly.
the?
May I cut it? I want to say this. I want to say this. I don't think this is the problem with. Well, I'm just gonna say some of these athletes' ages are young. I guess Sarah and them was born in the '90s. That's what I'm gonna take it, right?
Yep.
So as they're coming up as young adults and as adults in the 2010s and the 2020s, God, they don't know what rivalry is. They never witnessed like we witnessed what rivalry is in the '90s or some of us in the '70s and then in the '80s and '70s. That this generation of her peers of athletes, they're thinking rivalry is like a diss track or something like that, or disrespect. They don't know the concept of rivalry. So in her mindset, what she's saying and doing is considered a rivalry, but in reality, it's not. So that's why I have to go with that. I just go with
Oh.
her
That
generation
is
and everything. They
that
they
is
never
an
they never witnessed
interesting.
it because they see LeBron
Well,
James,
because
everybody
yeah,
joining teams and being friends and stuff like that, and they never witnessed like, okay, we could be cool backstage, but when we on the court or when we on the stage, we're not friends. And there was still a mutual respect at the end of whoever won, but they don't understand, can't comprehend that today.
You want a good example of a classy professional rivalry in bodybuilding? Angela Yao versus Andrea Shaw.
yes,
I mean,
right on.
the two of
Mm-hmm.
them, when they had the press conference with each other, I mean, that's exactly what Angie did. She kept it classy. She kept it professional. She said, "Yeah, you're one of the very best, but make no mistake, I'm here to win.
Yep.
I'm here to
I,
beat
I
you."
I know
And
both
there's
Angie.
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I know both Angie and Drea very well, and they're both high class women.
But again,
And
they wasn't born in the '90s. That's the
no,
thing. You're just what you gotta understand.
Yeah.
They experienced what rivalry is because I guess they were both born in the '80s, so they were
yeah,
teenagers of the '90s, so they seen what rivalry is, regardless if it's whatever sports. They know what rivalry is. Again,
Hey,
we talk
Raheem.
about other individuals who were born '93, '96, and their recollection of rivalry is what they see now. You know what I'm saying? Because they were kids in the 2000s and became adults in 2010, so they don't know what a rivalry is. That's the difference.
Well,
I can't.
also,
You,
sorry,
I'm
go
glad
ahead.
I was born in the '70s.
I guess
so was
I'm an
I.
exception to that rule because
you
I was
know,
born
but
in
Yeah.
'93.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
just
glad
glad
I'm glad I'm an '80s baby. So.
I'm a '70s baby. I'll take it. And
I seen Muhammad Ali. He
yeah,
went at Joe Frazier and other boxers, and they was going at it. I don't see the difference. I get what you're saying in a certain aspect, but I don't see it that different like how it was like in the 70s.
The difference is this. I'm gonna tell you the difference is. The difference is this. The same thing in rap. When you the every rivalry, what you don't talk about no one's personal stuff. You don't talk about your mother. You don't talk about anybody's personal stuff or anything, right? That's what you don't do. Muhammad Ali, he never when he went against Joe Frazier, he just got into his head. When he went against George Foreman, he was just getting his head. He only talked about them, never took it
That's
outside, never told say, oh, George Foreman, you so dumb. You try to put Eminem's alphabetical order. He never said that. He never tried to get on the
Well,
academics. There's a
he did kind of
huge
mimic
difference.
certain things for Joe Frazier a little bit. He had like a doll and stuff like that, and poking
Uh-huh.
fun at him. I mean, it's
Also, got
different. It's different. Like it's different in a way. Like they like it. It's some similarities, but there's differences also. That's what I'm trying to say.
yeah, it's
I
always going
think
to be because you go back to when Ali was fighting, Sonny Liston, and he one thing is Sonny Liston was from prison. He got out of prison. He said, you know what, you want to mess with a man from prison, you act crazy because he'd be afraid of you. Him and Sonny Liston, they weren't really friendly terms, but he respected the man, but he still went at him, with try to get in his head because he wanted to win. Strategy is it's like any strategy. You want to psych out your opponent, whatever you can get, but then some Raheem said, some of these new generation who grew up in the 90s, grew up with social media, you look
yep.
at the rappers, even like Kumo B and LL Cool J, they had a rivalry. I used to remember that rivalry
Hmm.
because LL was young coming up, Cool was in college, he was coming up, and they kept it really respectful, even though if you go like one of Kumo B's albums, there's a Kango under his Jeep.
Yeah,
We
another
have
another.
it, comment.
I'm
Yeah. Shout out to my man, uh, uh, Brad Brown Baldy. He says they got
Right.
to treat it like pro wrestling, in my humble opinion. Play for the crowd, for entertainment, but behind closed doors, remain cool with each other. That's also expected. Also,
Yeah,
he
okay.
says this. He says, Andrea and Angela Yo definitely bring out the best in each other, but seeing Ashley Jones take the second spot right behind Shaw was absolutely cinema. Yeah, because
Talk to him. Won't
I
tell me
felt,
about that. What cinema?
yeah, I mean that was a surprise. I felt like I think with Angela, she was just a little off. Because even I remember the year when she won when she got second, when she beat Andrea at Rising
Rising
last year.
Yeah,
Phoenix.
Rising
Yep.
Yeah,
Phoenix last year. Yeah.
but when somebody told me whenever Andrea's off, and you know this, Lynn, and go for you, Abby, when Andrea's off, when she comes back, she's on.
Oh,
Hmm.
she's on times 100. So you know,
Well,
you
folks, I have another guest here, the lovely Mrs. Monica Johnson. She's also a bodybuilder herself, an
Oh,
amateur.
nice
She's
to
been
meet
a
you,
guest.
Monica.
How's it
Hi, everyone.
going?
Good. How are you?
Hey,
Sorry I'm late.
Yeah.
now you're all right, you're good. So, like Monica also has stories to tell, but particularly about a certain person. And it's not so
Yeah.
much about bodybuilder, but sometimes just somebody's bodybuilder equated, you know.
What?
Yeah,
You want to
about
share?
the talking down about him. I'm
Yeah.
I'm trying to get my ears connected here.
Give you a moment. We got here
I
a
can hear.
comment
I
here.
can hear you.
Yeah,
You
I'm having
got here. We got a comment here. Give us a second. We got a comment right here. I got it from my man here. Emmanuel says another major
yeah.
difference between generations when it
Thank
comes to rivalry is the aspect of social media. Social media can amplify and exacerbate rivalries into something that doesn't need to be as as well.
That's
But
actually a
back
good point.
to
Yeah, that's actually a good
Ooh,
point.
yeah.
Yeah, that kind of makes more sense when you really think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, do you
well,
remember
use
what
that
you
use
remember
that
what
big
happened?
word activate.
Do you remember what happened with Whitney Jones
yeah.
when she called out Missy Trescott? The woman got death
Oh.
threats online
Woohoo.
Oh,
because
with her shorts.
she had the audacity
Yep.
to do that. And then yeah, it was like, for crying out loud. A rivalry is not a bad thing. It's just if you take it across a particular line. But also a big difference between the rivalries in the past is if you're going to talk shit, you better get ready to take shit. from other people. And that's something Sarah has not done. First of all, she said that
Well, she
everybody
turned off her social media for a negative comment.
Well, she set her social media on private.
Exactly. That's the
She
point.
threw the
That's the point.
grenade and ran.
Right.
She couldn't handle
And then
the fact
she's
that people were actually on Natalia's side, so she turned
Quote
off
unquote
and called them
bots.
bots.
right. Exactly.
You know, we're not
And it's
bots. You acted inappropriate. It's
bingo.
BS. Grow up. Take the shit that's going to
Right.
be given
Exactly.
to you. No
Right.
one threatened you, but they gave you shit.
If you're gonna
You
do
don't get to
stuff
call
like
someone
that,
out and then turn your shit off because you don't like what they're saying.
oh, but
Take
they're
your
not saying.
post down.
But they're not saying it. It's the bots who are saying it, and the bots are all coming from Natalia. It can't be from any. Can't be from any people. None at all.
And that's why I lost even more respect because she turned it off. She could not handle it.
Right. Bingo.
I would have, if she would have left it on and took the shit, I would have gave her more respect back. Like, okay, she's gonna take her shit.
Well,
But she did it.
she also did some thinking about it because she said this is not a typo.
Yeah.
Not a
This is
typo,
not a
huh?
typo.
Y'all saw that.
Meaning you know what you're putting down. You're not just ranting and saying this is bullshit. Blah 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 blah. There, like when we vent and we go, oops. But no, that's like premeditated. You know what you're saying because you're.
Oh, she went off stage and was thinking about it right away. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think,
she didn't even allow Natalia the day to enjoy her title. She had to ruin it with this drama. And she could have been a little. You know what? She lost her class by posting what she did, but she lost it more because she didn't allow Natalia to live in her glory for at least 48 hours. She had to call it out right away.
But to show
I mean, the very next day, she was like, "Oh man."
Yeah, exactly.
But,
24 hours
but what are you
later,
calling out? You're making an assumption. What are you calling out? You throw something out there with absolutely no proof.
Bingo.
And then you
got it.
and then that's your keyboard warriors where you're out there stabbing at shit and then you block everybody or you delete your account. Yeah.
And what is Natalia's been response to this? Nothing.
Nothing
at all.
She's out there living her best life, enjoying her win.
And she's
winning competition after competition. Did she win yesterday? Yes, she did.
Yeah. She should have won last year, anyways. Just my opinion. Yeah. Natalia should have won last year too.
She's not wasted any time on this. She's just gone on and she just won another show.
She's won the last show.
Yesterday.
The Hurricane Pro.
At the Mexico Pro.
Right.
Well, then why didn't Sarah go and compete there and then see who won?
There you go.
Then we could have had the best.
Yeah.
Okay, let's put 2 out of 3 now.
I totally agree. Why she was so. If she wanted to try to redeem herself, why didn't she go and jump into that show?
Yeah, why'd she do Mexico Pro?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
That thing, Sarah, you rarely ever see her. This is why one thing I'm not a big fan of Natalia is when you are doing multiple shows and these are Olympic qualifiers. I know you want to be active. I understand that, but then you're coming in here and you was in 2022 and 2023. You were the current Miss Physique champion. You come in here, and okay, what's the, some ladies who talk to me saying they're not a fan of hers. They don't like the fact she's coming in here. This is one lady was kind of like she's close to getting Olympic qualification, but then here comes, she came in best shape, but it's about being competitive. But then you coming in, you already have numbers stacked in your favor, and then you do a show like this. This is just a new show, and you're thinking, okay, it's a new show. Somebody like who wanted the opportunity to say, let me try this show. You coming in just pretty much about a week after the Olympia. And coming in, and then boom. I know ladies are respectful, but there are some back in the head say, "Why this bitch is here?" I mean, God damn. They probably, and there are some ladies that they're not a big fan of it. Some have said that she's not approachable in some cases. Sometimes she's cool with some people, other times she's not. It can be hot and cold depending on how she's feeling. But understand you want to be active competitive, but then someone like Sarah, who's doing stuff like putting up money for shows like she did for Pittsburgh a couple years ago, like she put money for the Texas Pro. She's doing
Mm-hmm.
stuff that maybe set up for the future. I know Natalia last year, she was promoting Marines of Zeke for Triple O Dynasty, and then also she was promoting a show in Brazil. But she's not doing Triple O this year. She dropped out of that, didn't have a sponsor, so they lost that division at that show. And I think the show come out in Brazil, that's where her family's from. I just as a study get this: when you are at the top, why do you need to go into the trenches and fight with the other soldiers? Unless
Well,
Okay.
you got to remember the women aren't making the kind of money the men are.
Nope.
So they're doing the shows to offset some income, So, I mean, I get what you're saying. She's qualified, but at the same set, got freaking Derek Lunsford wins 600,000. Drea wins 50. Drea looks better than Derek, by far.
That's all up on me. All on them.
I mean, these women have no choice but to do shows, to pay for shows, So until there's more sponsors and more money, which, according to some people, I got called a couple bad names the other day because I said that women don't make enough money and we should stay in our hole, is what I was told. But the women have no choice. They have to win the shows to pay for shows.
The data about, again, it all boils down to marketing.
Yeah.
You have to market your sport. It's not. I just want to say it like this. It's not a sex thing. You have to look at it like, okay, who is the top athlete in your division who can be like, okay, I am a marketable person. I can go out there to all the social medias, the mainstream media, to put this sport on the map. Because you got to remember, Hulk Hogan put wrestling on the map in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, wrestling was just this little sideshow in small rural America. You got to get the athlete, that female athlete that says, okay, I am the face of this division of female bodybuilding. I'm going to embrace it all, go out there, do all the interviews, hit every platform I can to bring up this sport. That's the key thing, because once you get more eyes onto the sport, more people coming into the sport, then revenue goes up, and guess what goes up? The pay goes up, unless you still got judges or promoters who are cheap. But that's it. And to be honest with you, $50,000, $5,000. I know to you as females that sounds small, but to any everyday person, male or female, if they can get that prize money that Andrew Shaw got, they be like, yeah, hell yeah. So
I get what you're saying, but
it has to be that way.
And it just gets old hearing the men are what brings.
The men ain't
bring
even
more revenue, bring more eyeballs.
Okay, no. Let me tell you something. I have to, Lynn. I want to explain something to you right now. When you ask an average person out there about who's the current Miss Olympia, no one knows. Maybe in your little circle, y'all know. No one knows. You know what they're going to say? Arnold Schwarzenegger. He has been Miss Olympia in 45 years. That's the craziest thing. The average person out in America will say Arnold Schwarzenegger. They will never say Dorian Yates. They'll never say Ronnie Coleman. They will never say that. So even the men ain't making as much money as it is. It's the sport is just all around screwed up. It's screwed up all around. Marketing wise, it's screwed up. Like for instance, where could anybody watch your the Olympia coverage? Remember, this is your Super Bowl. What stations, what channels, what streaming sites can anybody watch it on?
Well, I agree.
Olympia TV, but
I'm working. You can find Pop TV Factory. You can find Olympia TV, and Pop TV is like what channel 1065. So this is a sport that has to grow. One of your ladies and one of the males have to take the baton and say, I got to represent this bodybuilding thing, regardless of how negative people feel about me. Because let me tell you something right now. Regardless if you're an athlete or actor, you're going to hear negative people say negative things. You're going to hear people say positive things. It's just that you have to have the skin for it and say, hey, I'm going out there to represent this sport. That means I have to do a movie with Tyler Perry, a DC film, or a Marvel film. Sign me up. I'm ready, so people recognize my face. And then guess what? Your sport will be respected. If not, then it's going to be this controversy in this dark that it's still in, and the prize money is going to still what it's going to be.
I'm going to have to respectively disagree with that, because the marketing argument in the day and age of the internet doesn't fly anymore. When you had just print magazines, when you just had the muscle mags, then your argument would, I would say, hold water. But today, the very thing that all of us are utilizing right now, the internet, has changed all that. You want to find out anything at all on anything, from women's bodybuilding to women's pro wrestling to women's pro basketball. All you have to do is go to a search engine and type in those words, and you'll immediately be taken to all the information you could possibly ask for on those subjects. And the thing is, most people don't go to those because they're just not interested. Most people don't know about bodybuilding because, sorry, 99% of the world doesn't care about it.
Again, I agree with you saying. I agree with you saying, but I gotta be honest. I'm gonna have to disagree with you. You're gonna have, regardless of a male or a female bodybuilder, who has the charisma and charismatic. That's what you gotta have to do. It is the same way, like you said. Yes, of course, you can search engine. You can find anything on any search engine these days. But the fact is, you gotta have that person, that female bodybuilder. People say, "Who is that?" Oh, I like her personality. Wow, she's very interested. You know what I'm saying? And when they start seeing her more, not just on Instagram, but on all platforms, even old media, because guess what? Truth be told, even legacy media is still around. People still watch that. If you see her on those things, guess what's going to happen? People are going to come to her. Hulk Hogan hosted Saturday Night Live. The next day, they did WrestleMania in New York. That was a good marketing thing. That's what I'm trying to say. This is what you got to do. This is the key. The key is you want the ladies. You want the money. I want you to get the money. God bless it. The more sponsors you have to bring in the sponsors, because the sponsors you have right now, unfortunately, they don't have enough to give y'all. But you have to bring in new sponsorships. Hey, maybe one day you will get that Nike sponsors. Maybe you'll get the Adidas sponsors. Because right now, Adidas they lost their sponsorship from the NBA, NHL, NFL. Maybe they play. Oh wow, this is a great bodybuilder. This guy's cool.
There you go.
They got charisma. Let's sign her up. You don't know. You gotta try. Leap of faith, ladies. Leap of faith.
Yep. And it's said that these local news stations are doing a better job promoting women's bodybuilding than the mainstream media.
That's true. That's very, very true. You're right about that.
I know a while back. I think I remember a couple of news stations were interviewing people like Natalia. Sarah Piami also did thing with Linda Murray, and to go back to what was Vince talked about earlier, how people act when y'all say something. Like, remember when Linda Murray was talking about how Arnold was was putting up $750,000 for the men's open division. And then, she talked about it, and people talk about, well, you talk about this man's pocket, but it's not all his money. Some of it's from other people. He's just a friend. Because he does have, like I said, his movies. He still gets royalties from his movies, but he hadn't been active for a long time. But he's still, the Arnold, the Schwarzenegger, the Arnold, the Puma. It's just, and we talk about how. It's not fair that women don't get as much, but we as they off like this, the men's division, as I always say, is the bottom bitch. The pimping game. It's the one that brings the money,
Well, and then you start acting like a bitch, like they're not going to take us serious. Just my opinion again. I know I should not have said that, but
here's another question.
That's why we have open conversation. Sometimes, sometimes it sounds you can speak your mind because some biting your tongue hurts. We have your comment from a man, Brown Baldy. He says this. He says another major difference between generations is.
You already did that comment.
When you look at building back in the day, these guys competed with each other, but they also trained together too because they treated bodybuilding as a fraternity, like Frank Colombo and
Arnold
Mm-hmm.
Schwarzenegger, all those guys.
yeah,
But we have
it's
some
like
girls like that. Abby and I have trained together. I've trained, with lots of people. Christine Ware. So
It's like
you
that
know,
with women. You see
yeah.
Lavinia
So
Barros and Amanda Machado train together, and
Well, they just
all the
had
great.
that. They just had that Olympia battle with Andrea
Yeah.
Shaw, Ashley Jones,
yeah,
Natalia Kovaleva, and Angie. They're all training together. And that was
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
what Andrea Shaw even pointed out. It said, "Yeah, we're competitors, but we're also a sorority.
yeah.
We're also a group."
I mean,
So
I'd like to. I wish I had more people to train with. I train with my husband.
Yeah, me too.
uh, you know, so he doesn't yell at me like I'd like to get yelled at, but I have to usually fly down to Tampa to get yelled at a couple times.
maybe it's been covered already, but what about Jessica's comments? Jessica Reyes Padilla's comments, because Missy is responding
Oh
in that
yeah.
clip. She was
Yeah,
She
responding
did
to
not take
Jessica's
that
comment that
lightly.
in which she said, "Oh, I just see this as a guest posing." That she
what
sees
somebody,
well,
her
didn't she
Olympia
make?
appearance as a guest posing. Is that
well,
it does sounded like it was just no big deal to her. So
well,
do you think that's confidence, or do you think you would put that on the same would
But
you put
didn't
that on a
she make
level of
another comment?
arrogance?
Didn't she make another comment before that? I saw them on some kind of talk show, and she called out Jessica on something. She said, "Well, weren't you taking a side about your posing or something?" And
edited pictures. We showed that
apparently,
earlier.
Oh yeah,
and
what you
everyone was
do with
like,
editing your
"Oh,
pictures?
wow."
Yeah, editing.
So,
Yeah,
Yeah,
And everybody was
here,
just like, oh.
so
but
that was
here,
like the first thing, and then everyone started getting catty.
yeah, but here's the thing: how somebody explained to me, it's just something to help with her mindset. She said, but thing is, you've been doing this for a long time. You've been to Olympia more than just about 10 times, and you've been the top three the last 3 years. That can, because I'm like I said, I'm not a big fan of Jessica Whitney. I think she's a great physique, but personally, I feel like you need to sit back. I mean, she just did a show in Mexico, which is second to a girl who was eighth at the Olympia, and that
yeah.
tells you, yeah, that tells you that she really should, because she could have done, she done last year was Hurricane Pro, where she won. She could have done the Florida in Hurricane Pro and won that show. She was chasing after being both Master Olympia and Olympia champion, and then she falls down to third. And that tells you something that maybe either you can step your game up, or you realize, you know what, my time has passed. Let me move on, because I know she's touching 50. And it's getting harder when you get these young girls coming in like, what? I know both you and Monica, y'all both are ladies of maturity, but these young girls coming in, they're, like people like Paula Ranta, we feel like I would say like this.
I'm a '70s baby. Remember that.
Same
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Same
And
here.
we see wet behind the ears and breast smell like Similac. Just on
Breast.
the titty.
You talk about Clubber Lang? You talk
Yeah.
about Clubber Lang
Okay.
for Rocky?
Come on.
Yeah.
Hey. So like you got here a comment from my man Brown Baldy. He says this. Shout out to him. He says, "Seeing Sharonka place in top five in
Sharonica.
Yes.
Sharonica.
Agreed.
Yes.
Atlanta Pro earlier this year was amazing. I mean, I think Sharonica, she fits to me the criteria. I met Sharonica. I mean, she is just as beautiful as she is on screen as a
She is the
person. I mean,
sweetest person in the world. She's my posing coach.
Like you
So
said, my man, she fits the criteria.
yeah. So I love her. She's
Oh, yeah.
awesome. She's humble.
Good,
And
good, good.
she talked me
Yeah.
up. She helped me through the hardest prep I had this year. You know, so I'll be working with her again for my next season, and so
Another one
yeah,
is Dr. Autumn Swanson.
yes,
She placed second to Natalia at the
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Mexico show. And
Yep. She played second.
she's got a classic WPD look as well. So I'm
yeah.
glad to see there are women like that have that classic look that are getting high placings or still
yeah.
getting
And it makes me
top
feel
placing.
better as a smaller physique woman. So like I think Natalia, as much as I love her, she's getting big. Like and George, we talked about it the last time, like I mean, she's got some wheels on her and some lats.
Yeah, she
So,
does.
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Like this is like I think this picture was a while back. Was this you had Natalia, you got Ashley, and you have
Ashley, yep.
Lavinia. And you can see how this is like when Ashley competed in physique back in 2020 two. This is when Ashley was right time when Natalia competed at the Atlantic Coast. This is was Lavinia at the when she won the Romanian Muscle Fest. These women are evolving. We have here a
Yep.
new
Mm-hmm.
lady who's been here guest a couple of times on my channel, the lovely Mrs. Randy Dean.
Hey
Randy
George,
Dean, how's it going?
Hey,
it's going okay. I wrenched my back at the gym today,
Ooh,
so
Oh,
ouch.
sorry.
Ooh, ouch.
5 weeks out to Masters USA, and I wrenched my back. So we're trying to recover.
Yeah, take your time. But Randy, what's your thoughts on it? Because you follow some of the sport, and listen to we talk about stuff like that on the side too.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just overall disgusted. I think it's really bad. I think that just in general, we get a lot of a bad rap in our sport. There's a lot of stereotypes, and for Sarah to like pull this shit, it just was such bad sportsmanship.
It really is.
I mean, it's just
Yeah.
bad sportsmanship. I'm a Dana Lynn fan. So I think Jeremy was talking about having someone, getting somebody back into the sport. We need like a Dana Lynn back again. Like that's what physique was all about. And I totally agree with you, Lynn. Like I look at some of these girls and they're just getting bigger and bigger. And I really felt like I was a Sarah fan. I wasn't necessarily a Sarah fan because of her personality. I liked her physique, but I also liked the things that she did, like putting up the money so that women's physique and women's bodybuilding could like compete again, and that we had like a voice and we had a place. But it's just disgusting. It's just I don't know.
But money should, like, I get what you're saying too. And I think that's what Sarah uses. Like, Sarah's got money. We all know it.
right.
She's got a lot of money. She flies in on private jets.
Yep.
I don't know exactly where this money comes from. It's none of my business. But
It's a husband's money.
yeah, but your your money doesn't give you the
No.
right to act a fool.
Yeah. I mean, she was an asshole.
Yeah.
She was an asshole. It shouldn't have.
Dang.
It just shouldn't have been. And it's really funny. My coach is Ron Harris, um, who's very well known in the sport, and he does a lot of podcasts. And we met the other day when we were doing my check-in, my posing, and he was telling me, he goes, I played back the video over and over and over again of Natalia, and he goes, I'm telling you, there wasn't anything that was there. I tweaked that. I
Nothing.
looked at
No, I didn't
arms. I
see
looked at this.
anything
That.
unusual.
No,
Yeah.
nothing
I
unusual.
watched it over and over. I was like, I don't see anything unusual.
There was
Yeah.
no
There
nothing.
was nothing there, and I think
I want
that
Sarah to circle it. Like, put a picture up, Sarah, and circle what you're talking
No,
about.
no, football, you do that red challenge flag. I was doing it like that. Like nothing.
There's nothing there. It just boils down to, like I told George and everybody earlier, Randy, that Sarah lost to the better person.
Yeah, hands
And
down,
and in my opinion, Natalia should have won last year too.
100%, 100%.
I think Natalia was robbed last year. Um, I have my thoughts on why I think she was robbed, and no, it has nothing to do with Sarah's physique, but it does have to do with her income, and
But
money talks.
do you think sometimes some people feel entitled that they should win more? Being
Yes.
I'm just taking a stab at this, but being she puts up that money, she's got that huge statue that she has her show, and she's elite, and she wants to be the face of women's physique. So
Yes.
she's entitled, and now that got taken away from her.
Well, did
So
you see her new 2 times the life-size statue that somebody just made for her?
yeah,
Oh
well,
yeah, she
yeah,
got her own
that,
statue and everything.
She got her own. Yeah, she got Arnold Schwarzenegger statue.
She got her own gym. That she
Yeah,
put
that's
in,
Like
put in
own gem, own
But
private jet, own statue. Yeah.
but it boils
jet.
down to, yes, she thinks she's entitled because
yeah,
she has money and she puts money up. So
Right.
therefore, her money gives her the entitlement to
yeah.
win.
Okay,
Gives her
That's
the
not how
edge.
it goes.
this
Close.
You know.
ladies, this is what we.
Well,
This,
ladies, I
sorry.
have here a gentleman. He's on the other side. He's with the banana hams and board shorts. My big brother here. We hadn't seen him in a while. My big brother.
Keith!
Hey!
Where have you been, man?
10 toes down, 6 feet up, dog.
Okay, man.
And you know,
I
he
want
is an
to.
IFB pro, men's open competitor. He's also married to the lovely Miss Tina S. Williams. Is Tina with you? Can you say hello?
Tina
Yeah,
Williams.
there she
Hello,
is.
Tina.
There she is.
Yeah, and but man, we talk about this stuff. Yeah, you
I've
talk
been
about
listening. I've been listening. I've been listening.
yeah, we talk about how
You need to stop getting sick, man.
Yeah.
Stop going to the hospital. Sick and tired of seeing you posted you in the hospital. Stop
Hey.
doing that.
It's a bodybuilding life, dog. Pushing yourself to the limits. That's part
There
of the
you go.
problem.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sick
yeah.
right now.
But like I said, brother, we talk about you remember how you talk about Heath and Phil Heath and Ty Green's
Kyle.
rivalry,
Yep.
guys like Chris Cormier and Flex Wheeler. But or a good example is for especially look at the women's end, Bev, they were at the Olympic together, Bev Francis and Corey Everson.
Mhm.
We talk about someone like Bailey. She wouldn't be able to survive with this new division. Has evolved. It's surpassed her.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. It's like at the exact same time as everybody talking about it, it's like Angela Yo, because she's too small to compete against Ashley and Andrea, should go back to women's physique, and then she would win. Think about it. I mean, think about it. If you look at Natalia right now,
Nah, she's fine
Natalia
where
looks
she
more like a
at.
bodybuilder. Natalia looks more like a bodybuilder right now. And again, we just left a show where a girl who was a physique girl beat a lot of bodybuilding girls at the Titan, beat a lot of bodybuilding girls, and there was a lot of controversy and bullshit about that. And we still haven't heard back from the judges about what's going on with that. But it is what it is at the end of the day.
What are your thoughts on Sarah?
What's
everything's going on there?
Sarah just don't give a fuck. And here's the thing, and Tina, who just walked out for a second, will tell you this. All these girls are talking shit on one another backstage because why? Because she hears it. So Sarah's just speaking her mind. All these other girls won't say it, but Sarah's just speaking her mind. She's saying things that other girls won't say. That's what it boils down to at the end of the day. Because she don't give a fuck. Like she said, I'm riding around with private jets. I don't give a fuck, so I'm going to say what I want to say and do what I want to do. But she's saying things that everybody's thinking, but nobody want to say it. So that's just facts.
Sarah's trying to be like Ric Flair.
Pipe bomb.
Limousine riding, he's stealing, son of a gun. But she got to do it a little better. And she got to put herself out there a little more if she's going to do something like that.
Yeah, but it's like I tell people, be better. You want to be the champion, be better. And guess what? Natalia was just better than her this year, and she's pissed off about it. That's what it boils down to.
I literally jumped up on my feet when.
But what she's doing is saying what other people want to say, but not saying it.
But Keith, here's the problem. She put everything on block and on private. If she wants to stand on business, don't block it. That's what I'm saying. If you want to, look, we old school, 1980, 70, whatever. When we say stuff, we stand on business. If we say, yo, I can't stand you, you piece of mother effer, blah, 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 blah. They come in our face and say that, say it again. We say, I stand on business. I feel about you. That's what I say. We don't go, I'm gonna block you now. No. We're gonna say this.
Yeah, that's some
bullshit.
That's some petty bullshit there.
That's
some petty bullshit there.
I can't handle the heat, so I'm gonna block you.
Then don't put it out there.
But Joseph, this is what I say.
She put it out there and then blocked it all because
here's a brown bond that folks need to know how to take criticism, especially if you are going to use social media. Folks are going to talk shit whether you put out good or bad. Also, this is from a man who says, the art of talking shit also means knowing how to pick and choose your battles. This is from a man, Michael. He says this. He says, I hope Sarah doesn't make a diss track like Drake. This is from a man, Yup. He says this also. He says, Yeah, people will pay for that. Also, this is from my man Baldy says, not going to lie, I know more female competitors than male competitors. The thing is, the guys, they're the ones I think because Keith, you've been back the stage, you've seen it. The men. I think y'all get a little more leeway compared to the women.
Well, it's not, it's not as fucking catty. The camaraderie is, different even in this era versus the 90s. I mean, you have Flex and Chris and Paul Dillette and all these guys training together, in this era, it's just different. The eras are just different, and people say that all the time, and they just are. Where women like Tina, when she first turned pro at Miss International, I remember a physique girl came up to her and goes, "Why are you doing bodybuilding?" And she's like, "What?" And it was very disrespectful. She's like, "Because I can't win in fucking women's physique, so I got to move up to a different division." So and guess what? First show she went to, Wings of Strength, Rising Phoenix, she turned pro in women's bodybuilding. At Nationals and North American, she was second, third, fourth, could never win. Went to women's bodybuilding. Now she's an IFBB pro for 9 years now. So there's a difference. Sometimes you got to pick your lane and pick your poison.
That's right.
That's why I have the problem with these 212 guys and these classic physique guys just jumping into men's open fucking bodybuilding and winning shows. I'm like, how does that happen? But that's the judges. But it's the judges who are doing it.
There's no
Exactly.
criteria anymore. I go into a show, I come in and they're like, 1 minute you're too lean, you're not lean enough. I'm like, I'm the exact same as I was before.
And here's the questions. Like, I asked a question to somebody. I said, how do you compare two minions to two giants? How do you compare Andrew Jackson and Samson to Hade and to Derek, who are 5 foot, or even Nick Walker, who's 5'5", 5'6", and these guys are 6'2", 6'3"? You can't. It's just like
Nick Walker. Derek Linford. I met Derek Linford was it? Tampa, and I realized that I'm taller than him, maybe by an inch or so. I'm 5'7". He had to be about 5. Got to be about 5'5", maybe 5'6". And then I also met guy like Kevin DeVone, and he's kind of about 5'8", 5'9". He's a good sized man. And you look at again like I know ladies who told me they met Samson, and Samson, he's a unit. He's a giant.
He's a giant.
He's 6'3".
Yeah.
290. Andrew's 6'3", 6'4", 300 pounds, and you're going to compare him to a 5'5", 5'6" guy? How's that work?
So
how does that work?
I was coached by for a season or a two. Jose Raymond was my coach. Jose on a good day is like just 5 feet tall.
Yeah.
No, he's not even 5'3". Jose is like 5. He's 5, not even. He's just a little bit over 5 feet.
Yeah.
So same height as me.
How do you compare that to like a Samson?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just. But I agree. What Lynn was saying. I know, like I did Masters National a couple of years ago, and I placed 34th in women's physique. And I always get feedback from the judges. And I said, all right, like I know I needed to bring my legs up. I know I needed to do certain things. Like, what do I need to do? Well, you need more size. Okay, I put more size on. Now they told me at my last show, you need to come in more conditioned and more hard. Well, like, which one is it?
What is it? I can't win for amazing. I'm 5'2". I'm 5'2" on a good day. On a good day, I'm 5'2". I can't get much bigger than I'm pretty big for how tall I am. My bone structure, my wrists are 2 inches big. I come in conditioned like an effer, like literally 6%, 5% body fat, Christmas tree like there's no tomorrow on my back, hamstrings popping, glutes, put size on. I go to the next show, get bigger. Go to the next show. Oh, you need to be softer. You need to be. I give up.
Oh, wow.
And you're absolutely right. Tina just did the Titan show. She loses to actually the worst placing that she ever placed. She put 10 pounds. We put 10 pounds of muscle on, got her legs bigger, and the worst placing, and they couldn't give her an answer. But yet she loses to a physique girl, and it's like from the Chicago Pro, which she was 3rd or 4th. 6 weeks later, we put 10 pounds of size on her, better conditioning, and she still couldn't win. And a girl who beat her the week before, the girl who placed in front of a girl the week before who was going to Olympia who didn't compete this year, placed dead last, who was qualified from the Olympian from the Rising Phoenix. I go, how does this work? And it boils down to Steve and Tyler not being held accountable for any of their fucking actions, or Sandy for that matter, for their actions.
Like I have literally tried. I am just an amateur, but for the last 5 years, I have been second, third, and fourth place. I've never been lower than that at any national show since the day I walked. I did an Open, USA Open, my first national show ever in 2021. I was the oldest person on the stage and took third, in women's physique. I'm
It's
just over it, like to the point that sometimes I'm like, okay,
it's so frustrating. When I went to Masters National, there was a girl, what was her name? Laurie Conley. She was
yeah,
in one of my divisions. Now Laurie came out. Now granted, Laurie won she won women's bodybuilding heavyweight. She came out in women's physique and got a pro card.
I know
I don't get it. Like
she beat me, yeah.
I
I don't
just
She
get
went
it.
from bodybuilding. She came into the women's physique, and she actually took away from me when she already had a bodybuilding program. And I don't get it. Like, how can you do bodybuilding and win there, and then come into women's physique and win there again? It should not be
Oh,
allowed.
wow.
You
right. It
know,
should.
Well,
I like
well,
it the
Well,
Lord,
whole.
they
Lord,
say that shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
no,
yeah,
No,
Lord,
but
I
that's
like
a
it.
whole other
and that's
that's a
what's
whole other
so
discussion
frustrating.
about pro cards. I mean, like, how many fucking pro cards do you need? How
Yeah,
many?
Right.
like
Because
I,
I
Well,
be-
it,
because I
it,
won 6 pro cards, does that make me a better person? I don't
yeah,
get it. I need one. I need
I
one.
don't get it
Just
either.
one.
One. That's all you need is one. Like I go into several different category, like not categories, but classes. And my husband's like, "Well, what happens?" I said, "I would say give me one and give second place theirs. I
Yeah,
need one to have that
Yeah.
IFBB title."
I like in the whole thing. It's like they've done this now. It always with the judges is it's always the women's fault. Because
Mhm.
since 1994, they've come out 5 times: 1994, 2000, 2004, 2015, 2016. IFBB has sent out a memo to everybody saying, "Oh, you need to make this change, or you need to make that change." It's nothing about them. I liken it to taking your car into an auto shop to get it fixed. And during the repair, the auto mechanic screws up your car more. They do damage to the car. But then here's what they tell you. They say, okay, we're sorry we did this. We're sorry. Here's how you can fix the problem.
Yeah.
I'm fixing your screw up. I'm fixing the damage that you did to my car. It's the same thing here. It's always to you ladies saying, oh, here's what you need to change. What about them changing their judging so that
Judging.
it's
Yeah.
supposed to be according to the criteria that you guys are laying down? Why
And
are you guys not doing that?
quit letting people go from women's bodybuilding into women's physique and pulling pro cards in both of that. The
You're
criteria
absolutely
Well,
is
right.
you know,
yeah.
Talk to him.
I do.
Talk to
I do
him.
both classes. I do both women's physique and bodybuilding. And because I don't know which one I fit in, because I keep getting bumped down to second. And the last show I was in, the girl won 3 pro cards. So I'm with you on that. And it should have been handed down. Maybe I could have got one
Let me ask you a
if they
question,
if they would have
Monica.
called me, huh?
Let me ask you a question. Say day one is women's bodybuilding and you pulled a pro card. Would you still go into that women's physique and do that the next day?
No, because I'm
No.
a bigger person.
No.
Because
Yeah.
I've had it done to me so many goddamn times.
Yeah.
I
Amen.
need one. I
One.
don't need 5.
Yeah.
You know,
See,
this is
that's what
just
I'm
That's
saying.
stupid.
what
You won. So why are you going to come back and try to get another one?
I mean. It's just like where
But
I've
with the judges
sent in my
association.
fees for Masters USA, and I'm sticking just with women's physique. And
Yeah.
I said to my husband, I said, I know what the cost, and I know I said, but I'm telling you right now, I said, God willing, if I get a pro card, I said I will forfeit my pro card. And he looked at me and he goes, well, why would you do that? You paid the money. And I said, because that's what you do.
Mhm.
That's what you do. I would give it to somebody else. I mean, how many do I
But then
need?
you know what sucks
nobody
though?
does that.
No,
Nobody
I
does
know,
that. I was told when I was at the last show, I was told someone did do that. And for a reason saying why I haven't got my pro card, but I wasn't called into one of the classes. to get my medal. I was standing right there, and they never called us into the classes. But the gal was explaining to me. She goes, "Yeah, you can forfeit a pro card. A certain guy did that." She goes, "He's never heard of a girl doing that." She goes, "And it will go to the next person." And
So I took second last year in several different classes. The girl who beat me was in the same classes, took all 4 pro cards.
I don't
We
get
were
it.
in every class together, and she won
yeah,
all, and me taking second to her.
But they
Well, and
shouldn't
from
even they shouldn't even be allowing that in the first place.
right,
If you, I
there,
mean, you
but
should be
they
allowed.
say,
You should be allowed to get into one division,
right,
but they say,
and
Yeah,
they
it's
you shouldn't
say
one.
even
that
be
you
able to.
should not get more than one pro card. So
Yeah,
that's on the judges because
yep.
they say you won't get more than one pro card. But here they are handing 2 and 3 and 4 out
The
Right.
to the
girl's
same
holding
person.
up.
They
Yeah,
say that. And they say, oh, come back with a bigger back. You do, then they're not there. And they pick someone worse
and what
with the
happens
small
is,
back.
and
So
women
I'm
everything
think
you
tired,
it's
do, come back.
symmetrical.
and
Like
I'm
I said,
tired of
I'm
hearing too. You know, when
5'2".
you try
I'm
to
freaking symmetrical.
you
Now they come out, they want me to have these gigantic legs that aren't even gonna fit my body. You
right,
So,
right,
they just need to fucking practice what they preach. If you
Yeah,
want this, do it.
right,
Just like the catty bullshit, the sniping on people. That shit comes from the top. Look at Bob Ciccarelli. He shit
yeah,
talked me on stage. He shit talks Olympians on stage. And that stupid piece of shit is still there. Start from the
Yeah,
top.
that was my question.
Prove, make an
Why
example.
did they kept him here anyway
Make an
after what he said
example
this year?
by keeping him, and now people are shit talking everybody. When he shit talked me, I called the company and I said, you know, he's unprofessional. This is bullshit. And well, I got my name blacklisted now. But you know what? I don't care. I'm
yeah,
still here. I'm still
right,
here. I'm competing,
right. And
and I won't
I'm so
quit.
tired
That's all that matters. You're still there.
when
yep,
you when you when you get
Pisses me off.
feedback from the judges too. This is my favorite when they tell you, well, Randy, it's all about who shows up that day.
yeah,
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Yeah.
There's criteria in every other division. I feel like, right? There's criteria in bikini, and there's criteria in like fit model, and there's criteria in this one and that one. But like for women's physique and women's bodybuilding, it's so gray. It's just
yeah,
it's so gray. And then all this stuff just I like like you were saying, like the cattiness. It's all one. It's just it's so, and masters is a whole different ball game.
yeah.
So I
I
don't
feel like
understand.
the master women get along a little bit better, and I don't
They
know if
do.
this goes back to what they were saying, the generation gap and everything like this. Um, I'm pretty quiet when I get to shows. I'm a lot more friendlier when I'm not. My anxiety takes over. I don't want to, just like I just kind of hide. And I feel so bad because I see all these women that I follow, and I'm like, oh. But once I get there, I'm like, I freak out a little bit. But I watch everybody, and I see all the older women, like gathering around and talking with each other. And then you got the younger women that are just like,
Yep. My experience at Masters USA was awesome.
yeah,
People who I made connections with, who I still reach out to, and everybody was hugging everybody and
Mine
supportive
have
of
always been
everybody.
great.
yeah,
There was a few.
Mine have
There
always
was
been
a few
great. Meet
there.
so many people.
There was a few here and there that of course were like a little bit cocky, and you're going to get that everywhere. But but the masters shows are different. So like for instance at Masters National, if I won class C 50 plus, I win my pro card. I'm going to Masters USA, now I got to win a friggin' overall. Like I
yeah,
don't like, but it's the same. It's a master show.
Well,
It's
you got
master.
to think about it. Each show is going to be different promoters because you say you're doing that nationals. That's that's a
Gary.
different promoter. That's I think muscle contest.
No,
yeah.
While
Gary is Masters National, and then Muscle Contact is Masters USA.
unless you think okay, and then Gary, he's part of the clique. He's part of the My
I'll be
Familia.
right back, guys.
Yeah, right back. And he gets a little more leeway compared to the others. Um, Bodybuilding, it's just always there's going to be controversies with it. and issues with it, and this and problem. You know, uh, I don't like as a fan. From what I see, I feel like this: the best bodies deserve the opportunities. And the problem is they seem like they're not giving the opportunities to the best bodies. I've seen some ladies who should have won shows, but then you go with a girl that didn't look like she was the best shape or best condition. I've seen competitors who come in the best shape, but just because of whoever's at that show who's very popular and gets more attention is the one who gets the opportunity. We have here, I got a comment. Shout out to my man here, Johnny 781 Bravo. He says women's bodybuilding deserves more respect and money. Yes, true. I would say
Agreed.
that.
Yeah.
Also, this is from Peter says, such BS. Yeah.
As if that phrase hasn't been set up already.
And also, this is from a man here. Peter says, I hate it whenever they play skinny Hollywood girls to play superheroes or action heroes. It was so unbelievable. Well, that's the thing.
Oh,
Is
tell me
Hollywood.
about it. Yeah, can we do something? Can Hollywood do something different for once? Yeah, come on.
Get this. I heard this when they were doing Wonder Woman with Gal Gadot.
Yeah.
They verified this, believe it or not. How much muscle do you think she put on to do that role?
Not that much by the looks of it.
17 pounds. 17 pounds.
Really? I
According
never
to them.
noticed that when I saw the
17 pounds. I question that because they said they did it in 6 months. But they said
Wow.
she was training 6 hours a day for 6 months. I don't know top bodybuilders who
I
don't
don't know about
compete.
that.
I don't know
Yeah.
top bodybuilders who compete 6 hours a
Can't
day.
even do that.
Right, exactly. So, but they claim that they are. So,
But
we'll
that
see.
sounds good. It
Yeah,
sounds good.
it does sound good.
So
But yeah, I've said it here in the podcast before. I know it's a radical suggestion, but in this day and age, technologically, one thing at least consider: take away the judging from the humans and give it to the machines. Because I mean,
Let AI take over, huh?
they judge according to mathematics, not according to personal preference. So that's the way I would solve it. But I'm just a lone voice crying in the wilderness. So
The thing is you gotta, how you gonna figure it out? How you're going to, work it? Like, do you use like facial recognition? Do you put in, everything that's like all the criteria that's supposed to be for that division, particularly, especially if you go dealing with women, because every woman's gonna be different size, different body type. Some women are being a little bit more top heavy, some a little bit more slender. Some women are built differently. Men, we have a basic rigid man. Other than with height, we still have that more of that V taper, the smaller waist. We have some men just generally have the same kind of physique. There might be some interchangeable now and then. You look over a division like men's classic or I call it men's figure. That's
Men's figure.
Yeah.
I call I call men's regular physique men's bikini.
That's what I call it too.
Men's fit model.
Yes.
That couldn't happen. So there was like everybody was on the uproar right back and saw the video.
Is that a boxer?
Yeah, it's one of two. I have two boxers.
Opie.
This is Opie.
I remember it was an uproar a couple of years ago when they thought that it might possibly bring in men's wellness.
I miss having a dog.
Please don't.
But going about the fit model thing is because it's more about money than anything. Because it was getting more attention, But a thing with that is it's going to evolve and look closer like what the bikini division is now. So
I don't know, because they said if you pull a pro card in fit model, you cannot leave fit model. You will have to, if you want to go to bikini, you will have to redo your fit model. You will have to go into bikini and re-qualify for your pro card.
Oh, start from scratch, basically.
I think I've heard the same thing.
Isn't the whole premonition of fit model supposed to be like, for women who've like, you know, lost weight and they've transitioned and they've gotten fit. How do you win a pro card in that? I don't understand. I don't understand.
I don't know. I
Money,
think,
money.
well, it was because of all the influencers. You got to remember, we got all these influencers that don't want to get bigger, like, you know,
Like a
you
lean
or
beef patty and all
Monica.
that,
Don't
man.
want to put the work in.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know, so but yeah,
Yeah.
they're attractive. They got, you know, they're got cute little booties. They're young, so they got these companies that are paying them money. So
They followed. The
Yep.
problem is that they followed this exact
I mean,
same
I'm out
pattern.
here busting my rear end, and I like got 2,700 followers. You know,
Right.
But that still makes no sense when they continue to say that the business, why the men make so much money is because people want to watch the men. Well, then why keep bringing in women's classes and
correct. I want to do
that
that
Exactly.
too.
really
Like
is
7
kind
in
of
total
Because,
now.
you know, we got
stupid.
wellness. Yeah, because we got wellness now. You know, and now we got fit model.
Well,
You
And
know,
if
and
you aren't
now,
in any other men's categories, we still have the
yeah,
exact same men's categories. Well,
they've done.
besides
That's still the
classes.
same though. The men's categories.
The problem is they've done exactly the same thing with all of these divisions for the last 25 years. If
Yes.
you go back and look at the inaugural class of fitness, of figure, of bikini, of wellness, they all look like what Fit Model is supposed to be today. Because what happened was this: they decided to create a new division because they kept saying, "Oh, well, it's evolving" and such like that. I consider that bullshit. I think evolution is just a euphemism for money. They're wanting to get more money out of people. But this is what they do. They come up with a new division. They let it get out of control because they don't follow through with the criteria. It goes beyond what they intended. They come up with a new division.
Yep.
And that's what they've done for
Well,
25
That's
years.
basically what happened.
Yeah.
can they get a new division for me then? Because for some reason, you know, I have a pretty good. You know, I'm not trying to like pat myself on the back, but honestly, you know, I come in pretty lean. I think I look pretty good. You know, I you know, they want me to have these gigantic legs that just won't fit my body style. Like, can they make a division for me then? Please?
Well,
You know?
that's like they try to take the divisions and then subdivide them. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, in Canada, I guess they have unlimited bikini. I'm still trying to figure out the
What?
I'm still trying to figure out the unlimited part. You have
The unlimited.
bikini, you have unlimited bikini, but then you've now got novice is not novice anymore. Now you've got novice and true novice.
What?
The novices, oh, well, you've started, but true novices, oh, you've only competed in one show. They're subdividing this stuff like crazy.
It's
And
a
it's
money
all,
thing.
and each one of those
yeah.
is a separate fee to get in. So it's all based on money, but it's like the stuff with coming up with divisions, they've done exactly the same thing for 25 years. They bring in a new division, they don't follow through with what they say they want with it. It gets out of control to the extent they have to come up with another one.
Well,
That's
well, that's how, you know, this prize money comes from the stupidity of me entering 5 classes.
Right?
you know,
but see,
$1,100.
but see, you shouldn't even be able to be allowed to do that.
Yeah.
You should pick what you are and stick and stay in that
Well,
lane. You shouldn't be able to do divisional crossovers because it doesn't make sense. All the criteria are supposed to result in a unique look for each division, right?
In that division, yep.
Which means if you bring in the same physique for 4 or 5 categories, you should fit one of them and not fit the other 4. So what sense does
A
it?
lot of times there is enough
it's the
people in that
age.
category.
Yeah. So
There
I
are enough
need
in the age group.
ages. Yeah.
I know the last couple shows I've done, there weren't enough people in the class. I've had to drop down 40-year-old, 45-year-old. I'm 50 plus. But I got to drop down because there's not enough women to compete in bodybuilding, but there are in physique. So where are my chances at? I lost my pro card to someone who was in a figure class and later on was told she shouldn't have got it because she was too big for the class. Well, shit, but you know what? She chose to do that, and guess what? She got a pro card, by accident, but it worked for her, so you never know.
Yeah. We
Wow.
got here a comment from a man, Brown Baldy says, if Gilbert got gained 17 pounds of muscle, then I can play as The Rock in the next final. Also, the man Peters, he has a comment for you. He says this to Lynn. It says, "Yeah, Lynn, looks stacked. You know, he's looking at your chest. You got your pecs out. You know, you got a lot of guys."
My shoulders aren't showing right now. I'm not gonna, I've worked. George, we talked the last time right before I did my show. I'm a late bloomer. I didn't start, I never lifted weights until I was 42 years old. So I've only been lifting for 11 years. So, in the first 5 years I spent in bikini. I did.
Oh.
And I was super lean, and they kept like, "You're too lean for bikini. You're too lean for bikini." So they knocked me up to figure. You're too lean for figure. You need to go into physique.
Oh,
And that's what I
wow.
did. I've been in physique for the last 4 years, and I haven't done a local show since COVID, but I just keep doing national shows. And I'm getting second through fourth, but come on already. I'm done.
Yeah, I hear you.
Don't worry. Don't worry, you'll get your tiara and trophy.
Do you know?
What?
I said you'll get your tiara and trophy.
Do you know who Michelle Brent is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know how long
She's still
it took
doing her
her,
thing.
You know how long it took her to get her pro card? What was it, 2.5 decades
Yep.
Yeah.
of competing
Oh my God.
before she
Wow,
finally
really?
got it.
Yep.
She should have been a
So
fit model. She got it right away.
Right.
Yeah.
no. It's way too big for fit model.
Well, they don't know that. They don't know what they want.
Right.
No. They don't know what they want in women's physique either, though.
No, they
Like we
don't.
were talking, like I would love to sit with Tyler and to say, Tyler, what is it? Like, you have judged me for the last 5 years. Tyler has been my judge at Universe, at Masters, at North Americans, at USA's, and he gives me that second and third. My posing isn't the best. I'm hoping with Sharonica on my side now, I'll have a little bit more confidence with my posing.
Oh, she's a great posing coach.
Yes,
Mhm.
I worked with her very quickly this last season. We only had a couple. I hired her maybe 4 weeks out from Universe. We only had a couple. I mean, she worked really hard with me. It still wasn't enough to build my self confidence up a little bit. I get there. I see these gigantic women, and it mind fucks me. Excuse my French.
Mhm.
So Sharonica said that this season will work with my self esteem a little bit, and being able to display. She's like, you got what you got what you need. You have to believe that you have what it takes, So hopefully working with her, and being that she's not as big as she looks either, we have very similar body styles, me and Sharonica. So I think she'll be really good for me. My season ended quickly this year. I got rhabdo right after Universe. I was hospitalized, so I came home from
Kids,
Jersey
kids,
and ended up in the
now,
hospital for a couple days. And,
come here.
per doctor's orders, I wasn't allowed to train for a month, which killed me. So,
Wow.
so my season ended a little quicker than I expected, but God's will, you know, my time will come. I just don't know when. I'll probably be like 60,
Yeah.
know.
People ask me all the time, how long are you going to keep doing this? And I said,
Yeah.
they have a 70+ division.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, as long as I can do it. And I was very much like that with my confidence in the beginning.
Okay.
And now I give an F. I go out there and I have so much fun on that stage.
I just
And
got to start having the fun,
yeah,
just,
that's exactly. You got to let it go and start having the fun. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I had to requalify. I had cancer, and
Oh.
I had to come back, and I petitioned the NPC saying, "Hey, listen, I was out and I had thyroid cancer, and they were like, basically, we don't give an F, and you have to requalify." So I did, and I live in the Boston area, so I did Jay Cutler's show. So I was judged by Steve Weinberger, and he gave me great feedback. And, you know, he told me that my stage presence was like unbelievable. He's like, you just look like you're having so much fun. And I said, I don't know, Steve, maybe it's because I had a cancer and 5 years ago I had a heart attack. So maybe
Oh,
that's why I come out and like, I just come out and I just have a really good time, because I would go to these shows. And even like when I went to nationals, I was so upset about certain, I had to let it go. You know what I
yeah.
mean? I just
And
had to
that's what I
Yeah.
got to do. You know, I
just
put
let it
so much
go and
into these
just,
shows, and I think I'm going to disappoint people if I don't win. And, you know, I just need to
Yeah, you
remember
gotta,
that just I'm
Lynn.
doing
That's a
this for
lot like
me. Yeah.
I was, Lynn. I was. Yeah, you need to just learn to enjoy yourself. I go in there and I know what the outcome's going to be anyway, so I
Yeah.
just go to make myself look better. My posing is spot on. I know I'm conditioned better than everyone. I know my glutes are better than everyone, and I end up how I do. But you know what? I'm there and I'm proud and I'm having a good time. I'm meeting people, making
exactly,
friends forever,
Yep.
exactly,
and just
You know, this, like I told George,
great.
you know, on our last interview, some of the greatest people I've met in my lifetime have been through this industry. And, you know, I consider them closer than some of my family members, you
right?
know, honestly, you know, because we all get each other, you know, we all, you know, come from different walks of life, but yet we all have the same ambition and the same motivation and everything. So, you know, but it does get frustrating when I know I brought this spectacular package, you know, and you know, I'm seeing people that are soft and watery, and
Yeah,
I'm
it's
coming in with freaking veins from my forehead to my toes,
it's
you know, and
it's very frustrating. Now I just go in and I'm like,
Yep.
I go in just knowing that, like for me, I'm here. Like I
yes,
wasn't here, so I'm here. I'm doing it, and I'm 55. And you know
yep,
what? My glutes aren't going to be as shredded as like a 20-year-old's, and that's fine. But you know what though? For 55, I'm rocking it, and I'm doing okay. And I get
yep,
out there
Talk
and
to him.
have a lot of fun, and I pick my posing music. It's always something badass. I think I'm
yep.
actually doing a rendition of Johnny Be Good for my routine. And
Oh,
just to get,
nice.
yeah, I mean, I just like to just go out and just go out and just have some fun. And that's why, getting back to this whole thing, that's why I was so pissed off at Sarah.
Yeah, because it really makes us like not want to enjoy the sport because of somebody that we're supposed to idolize and supposed to
Right,
Yeah.
motivate us
right,
has acted so childish
right,
and
right.
so with the worst sportsmanship that I've seen in a while. And again, like I told George earlier, this isn't the first time she's acted like this.
No,
And why does Sarah feel that she is entitled to act this way?
it's just the whole thing is
Money,
just
money, money,
it,
money.
it's just wrong.
Yep.
It's just wrong, and she's not. I mean, people like this just aren't good ambassadors like for our sport. So then,
No.
you know, so then you get all this cattiness and you get all this stuff behind stage. But again, like as a masters competitor, I found everybody to be pretty much great. And we're all
Yep.
out there and we're all having a good time and we're all doing our thing and we all work hard to
Yep.
get to the point. And if I get the pro card, I'll be so excited. If I don't get it, I'm going to come back again and I'm going to try again. You
Yep.
know, it's what makes me tick. It's what makes me keep going. That's what I want to be ambassador to for the sport. I want people to look at me and go, wow, you know, she puts her heart and her soul into it and she keeps showing up and she's just, that's what she does. You know, I emulate to be like a good role model for my clients and to keep,
Yep.
don't have to be a bodybuilder, but do you know what I
Yep.
mean? And this whole thing with them just, you know, and like George was saying, going back to the era of like Corey and Bev Francis, who I had the honor of being able to train with, and she's an amazing person, Bev. Amazing. I trained with her for 2 hours. She's awesome.
Nice.
And
That's
I picked her brain. I learned things. She just is unbelievable. And I've been around some of the greats. I've trained with Jose Raymond. I did a training session with Jay Cutler. I've been around these
Oh
people.
wow, you've been around the great.
Yeah, I've been
yes.
very
That's
fortunate
awesome.
Mhm.
to be able to do these things and to be able to pick their brains and ask them. And you know, I went a couple of weeks ago, Jose did a seminar and I had him critique me and I said, what do you think? I said, should I really bother pursuing this? He goes, hell yeah. He goes, just get that lower body tighter. And I'm like, well, I keep trying. You know?
I mean, the thing is once we get our age too, we're fighting menopause and hormones and
Right.
bullshit like that. You know,
Right.
metabolism. Like ever
Yes.
since I had the rhabdo back in July, like my metabolism has been shot a little bit. And like I just told my coach, we've been trying to diet and. I'm going on vacation next week and I'm renewing my wedding vows with my
Oh,
husband. So
congratulations.
thank
Ah,
you. So
Congratulations.
I was like, I need to, I want to look good for this vacation. I'm renewing my vows and, but my body is just really fighting me. And I finally just told him yesterday, I said, you know what? Maybe I just need to not give a shit
Yes.
right now. Just try to enjoy these next couple weeks and then eat whatever I want to eat and come back and,
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
that and
I got
stuff.
I got a comment from a man, KL. He stepped away from a bit. He dropped out. He says, to the ladies, what will you do after competing, to throw the question out there?
You go first, Monica or Randy.
Go ahead, Randy.
I don't know. I don't want to stop.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't plan on stopping. I guess that like if I had to stop or I decided to stop, I was a nurse for 25 years. So I'm always gonna give back. I'm always I want to be there to motivate others. I want to be there to inspire others. I want to be there to help. Mental health is such a, George, you had a roundtable about it yesterday with mental health. I mean, that's such a
Yeah.
huge thing. I want to be able to support people and help them kind of through that. So in some capacity, I'll always be involved. I'll always be doing something. I know I won't be at the Olympia. It's not my goal,
No.
maybe to go check it out, but like, that's not my goal to compete at the Olympia. But I don't know. I don't plan on, why should I bother stopping?
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah, I wouldn't stop. My goal is to open a studio. I have my own equipment and I want to put it in a place out here in the boonies where I live for the women in the community that come from Canada and train their animals, their horses, and it's kind of desolate out here. But to give them a gym to work out at, to give back, I have a lot of respect here from the community, and I want to help them all out. Um, yeah, if I ever made it to the Masters Olympia, that'd be great. But my goal is to be up there to get that one pro card, just a one.
Yep. I don't really see myself like my parents just asked me that question the other day. They're like, Lynn, how long are you going to do this for? Especially because, of being sick back in July. Like, isn't enough enough? Like, in all the years of my lifting, I got rhabdo once. I know people who've gotten it 4 or 5 times. You act like I was dying. I have no, permanent damage, no nothing. My CAT scans, I glow from Google Earth. I've had so many CAT scans, but it is what it is. But I look at my dad, who was this like raging cowboy, like he rode horses and he was a steel worker and just a hardworking man. And he's 70, gonna be 75, and he's in a wheelchair. And I'm like, I don't want to be like that. I want to be 90 years old and taking my grandkids to the gym. You know what I'm saying? That's my grandma over there, and I
Or your great grands.
yeah, my great grands by then, yeah, I got, because I got 8 grandkids right now. So
Wow.
oh wow.
Wow.
yeah.
You go for
So yeah. So I got 8
You'll be busy.
grands, and the oldest one, he's gonna be 16 in
wow.
May. And I got him in the gym this last winter, and he'll text me now, and he's like, "No, no." He's like, I'm doing this, and I'm doing that, and then my granddaughter, who's got my little princess, I love her to pieces. Um, she told my daughter the other day, when I get big, I'm gonna be just like my nana, big and strong. I
That's
don't care what you
Ah,
think. So,
Aw.
there you go.
so that's my motivation, honestly.
Well,
Is
I will say one thing. I tell people, my clients, this every single day, and this is a very true thing. If I fall down, I want to be able to get up.
yes,
I want to
Even
be
though I
able to.
can't get up all the time
Right.
already.
Right now I'm having trouble moving and getting up, but like I don't want anybody to wipe my behind for
No,
me. And
exactly.
and I want to be able to get up off the sometimes I've had clients that have had falls, and we spend, the first 5 minutes into the session, they're ready, they're motivated. They said, "What are we gonna do?" I said, "Sit on the floor." They said, "Okay, now what do we do?" "Get up." "Okay, now sit back down on the floor." "What do we do?" "Get up again." And that's what we want to be able to do. I want it. My daughter's getting married in 2 weeks, November 1st. And eventually there'll be grandchildren. I want to be able to get on the floor and play with my grandkids.
Yeah.
I want longevity. I lost my dad when he was 48 years old.
Oh
So
wow.
I've survived. And my mom is 80 and going strong, so
Yeah.
like I do not want anybody to have to lift me up off the floor. I mean, it was awful after my heart attack that I had to go through this, and I had to have people help me do things until I could get strong. And I vowed after that, never again. So I guess just to be able to get up and get down every day.
Yep.
I tell you from my experience, I had to do that for my mom, and she died when she was 78 because she had seizures, she had dementia. I had to clean her up. I had somebody help me, but then after a while, I had to learn it, and that's tough. You don't want to see your parents like that because especially for y'all women, your daddy's your first true love. That's the man that sets example for everything in your life, and for us boys, it's our mother. Because my mother, I said, I was taking talk with my sister, said, like my woman is gone. That my mom was my woman. I said like this, I had time with other ladies, and that was just for those times a man you need to be with somebody, But it's tough. We have just a comments from a man, man, make a comment, you should be staying in the studio. He says, it's intense sport, but if you don't want, stop, keep going at it, better you than me. Also, shout out to him, says, other types of ways of fitness, but to each their own. If you're going to say this stuff, man, be here and say it in our face. Don't be in the
That's
comments.
right. Be here.
Don't be like, as I sometimes I say, don't be a yellow belly 8-second dog. Step up and be a man. So you got to say, Also, we have here from a man Peters. He says, Monica dogs are rowdy.
I was going to
Yeah,
ask about
Monica.
dogs.
Are they having a bad day?
Like this, or they are just? I know how I used to have dogs like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we had dogs. We out the country. We got here from a man Jeremy. Shout out to him coming through again. He says, just wanted to come on again and say, wonderful discussion. Great that George has had all these guests on at one time. Yes, because it's hard to get some because some of your ladies are busy. I know now the season's kind of winding down a little bit because I think Randy, you're getting ready for the USA Nationals.
Yeah, that's December, right, Randy?
No, it's in November 21st. So I am 5 weeks out as of Friday.
Oh, nice.
Oh wow.
And Monica, are you prepping for a show? I forgot to say you're prepping for a show.
What's that?
Monica, are you prepping for a show?
No, I'm looking for next year. I'm going to build.
Yep.
Gonna build. That's right.
Build. Get a national show next year.
Yeah,
You got
George.
this.
Ladies, I offer this invitation. There's a show which is sometimes the same time as the Teen Cleat show, which is the Miss International. It's for women's bodybuilding exclusively, and all you need is just enough bodies. If you win in your class, you get your pro card. Just had a lady. There was 3 ladies. One lady interviewed a while back. That's one of Keith's clients. Her name was Margie. She competed there, but she get a pro card. I would say find the shows that give you that opportunity. Shows like the Teen Collegiate, shows like North America, they're going to be stacked because there's a lot of bodies and everybody want to get opportunity. I know we mentioned Christine Ware. That's when she got a pro card back last year. Christine was a great lady. Get to meet her while I was in Tampa. And shout out to her. She's recovering from so he had some surgery earlier this.
She's doing good. She's back in the gym, so she's back.
Yeah, because I just talked to her a while ago. Got a similar thing with her and her daughter. I made for her because every so often I make little things to send out to you ladies.
Yeah.
And the thing is that there has to be an understanding and respect between both, as a competitor and as an athlete and as a person, not just as a man or woman, but as a person. If you don't like somebody, Yeah, so I don't like you, but I understand who you are, what you do, and this is a sport. We don't have to be friends. We don't have to be hugging. We don't like Gunny from
Dabbing up.
Yeah.
the movie saying we don't have to be getting up morning and kissing and in the shower together. Nah, just
Be
understand.
respectful.
Yeah, and that's the most
Exactly,
important
yeah.
part. Respect. What Sarah did, like I said, I did like Randy. I wasn't a big fan of Sarah. I honestly, she has a great physique. She has a high. Excuse my language, ladies. She has a shit shaped body with shit red face. I'm gonna announce like that. I'm not excited per se, but she has a good physique. But she came in better condition. I thought Sarah was going to win, but she didn't. But here's what you should do: go back to the lab. Maybe also what I don't know. I think she does her own training. You might need to bring in a coach and make those adjustments. Like Andrea was with John Simmons. She's now with the producer. Sarah Palmeranto, she was with Hyson Nielsen. Now she's with somebody else. Sometimes you got to find that person that works with you and bring out your better qualities. That's one thing. But the thing is, if you have issue with that person, hey, do this. Hey, sell some tickets. Put them in a boxing ring. I mean, some guy would probably love to see two buff, muscular women fight it out in the ring. Be like a Rocky Balboa. Hey, yo, I hear no bell ring, and keep going.
Oh, like a celebrity boxing type of thing, huh?
Yeah, that'd be something. Maybe just settle it out. Maybe do some. I do content MMA. Maybe do a MMA match. Be a little bloody. Bare knuckle. Just all these raps. That rap on your hands. That's all you do. Just go at it. Just
wrap up your head. Just go at it.
But if you bring this stuff, if this stuff get too personal for you, then here's the best advice for you: retire.
Yep.
Walk away. Go live your life.
Yep.
Hey, this even like this one step I posted on my IG that when Linda Murray lost twice to Kim Savetsky, she stepped away. She went
back to the drawing board.
Yeah, went to right, came back with 2 more Olympias, and then she after she lost, tried to get for a 9th Olympia, she lost to Iris Kyle. She said, "You know what? I'm done."
Yep.
Yep.
And she did it with class.
Yeah, and what she's doing now, she's promoting shows. She got her she got a new line and stuff like that.
Linda's from Detroit area. I've been blessed to do several of her shows. She's the one that talked me into going from. I did several of her shows as a bikini girl. She came. She said I was in the wrong division. I did her Savannah Pro debut. That's when she pulled me off stage and said, "You're not a figure girl either. you're women's physique." So I owe a lot to Linda for making me step out of my shell and feel comfortable, and as well as my past coach, and now my new coach. So, I have no hard feelings towards my past coach at all. I was with him for several years. It was just time to move, and Linda is an amazing person with a lot of class.
Look at that.
She is. She's truly one of my top favorite. I'm not gonna lie. She's
and Andrea Shaw.
Iconic photo right there.
Yeah, and Andrea.
Oh, I met all 3 of these ladies.
Yeah.
I met all 3 of these ladies actually at the Olympia.
Yeah, and then you got Andrea Shaw, who's just as humble as Linda Murray. So I see Andrea on top for quite some time. I think she is the epiphany of what a Miss Olympia is and should be. She's humble, she's kind, she's spiritual, she loves God, and she truly,
Just like Natalia.
yeah, she's
Yep.
that's why Natalia belongs where Natalia is too. So
And also say about Andrea.
I had a feeling. Yeah, I had a feeling you were gonna bring that up, George. He does this every time. He's always like this.
I can't help myself because I still remember.
I know you love her, George. I know you love her.
I still got my issue
I know
where
you
she
do.
signed it. And I can't, I think I think she's an amazing person. She's really done good work for bodybuilding.
I
We
met
have
her
Yeah,
this
she
too.
guy.
did.
Actually, I met Andrea too. Actually, she's a great person. I met her mother as well.
Yeah.
I knew
We got to talk about
I've known
you being one of
Andrea
my
since
girls.
before she was a pro. So Andrea is the exact same person as she was just training in the gym to who she is now as Miss Olympia 6 times. You know, she is the exact same person, just with the title of 6-time queen. You know, so
The queen of bodybuilding right now. She's on top right now.
she is. She'll be
Yeah.
there for a while. I
Mm-hmm.
think. I think she's gonna beat Iris Kyle's little streak there. So, George, I hate to cut you off though because the Lions game is about to start. This girl's got to watch her Lions.
All
Lynn, it
So,
was so
right.
nice to meet you.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
you two
I
guys, you know,
All
ladies,
right. Have a
try
good
to find
one.
me.
Been a
Yeah, try to find
pleasure.
me on social
Yeah.
media. I'll follow you
best of
I
guys
got
luck to
I
back.
you.
got you. All right.
Bye,
Yeah.
guys.
Bye.
Thank you, Lynn, for coming through. Appreciate it. My man KL just popped back in. Yeah, so you came back in, huh? You got something you got to say?
Yeah,
And we're
Like to see
yeah,
the
no,
cry.
Josh, your headphones is loud, brother. Jesus. Yeah, no, I was just saying that that if it's so intense that why constantly do that, go through all that pressure and just I don't know, man. I'm just looking at it like it's an intense sport. I wouldn't do it to a certain extent. Like if I was to do it, I wouldn't care to get my pro card. I would just I'm competing. That's it. But there's people that's able to do that. But I noticed that you know uh, a lot of these competitors they just go through these hardships of just competing like to a certain point where they 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 well I'm trying to say what I gotta say like they trying to reach a standard of trying to fit the judges criteria, and it's a lot of pressure. That's all I was saying. It can be stressful from what I'm seeing. Like I look at it, there's other ways of just staying fit. I'm hearing Randy's story that she had strokes and stuff like that, but she could just stick to being a fitness instructor, but she wants to do that. I gotta respect that. So that's all I was trying to say. There's people that
It
that,
does. It
that
feels like you're. I know what you're saying. It feels like you're chasing a dream, and you get there, and then you get told something has to be better. So you make
yeah,
that better. You come back,
yeah,
something else has to be better. I've reached that point where I'm done pleasing the people that do not see it fit to give me my card. So I'm going to go back and compete looking the way I want to look. I'm done. I'm done trying to reach what everybody else wants. But that's
mm,
the way I'm thinking. I don't know how many others feel that way. Um, I'm going back for me. I'm going to keep competing the way I want to compete, looking the way I want to.
yeah. I'm not mad at that. I mean, if you feel that you wanna just do that, to do it. But don't let that just get like consuming you like to a point where it stresses you out,
Yeah,
and
and actually, it takes all the stress off me because I know the outcome.
yeah,
I know the outcome because I know I crossed that line as a competitor I shouldn't have, and that damaged that damaged my reputation, and I'm fine with that. That's the kind of person I am. I'm military background. I'm hardcore worker. I'm going to speak my mouth. I'm going to speak my mind, and if someone doesn't like it, that's too goddamn bad. Um, so that's why I'm in that position I'm in now, and all the pressure's off me now, and it's so much easier to compete. It's so fun doing my routines because now it's me. I'm not doing it for anybody, just me.
Yeah, this is what I remember somebody saying this.
Real
Nothing more
talk right
worth than
there.
somebody who has nothing to lose. When you have nothing to lose,
Yep.
that means you have no fear. You just go ahead and do what you do.
Yep.
Sometimes You accomplish a lot when you have that mentality. And like we talk about, a lot of these competitors, they love the intensity, they love it just gives them that fuel, that they pushing that drive. When you have that drive, you want more. You just don't want to settle for just this. You want
That drives me. It's for me.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah, that's what you want for yourself. You want more out of it. And if like I said again, people don't have a problem with you, like Brady Mac says, fuck them. You know, you got to do what you for yourself. And this sport, you know, you were talking about Andrea. She's an amazing lady. I'm a fan of hers. Talk about Gillen. You know, we talk about Ashley. We talk about Angela. We talk about so many other competitors for guys like Sampson and Derek Lungford and Chris Seabaum and the list of these people who are the top level of their game. They had to make that choice of what they want out of this. They had to be competitive. They had to be better. They had to come in because you got this other person. You're not going against another opponent. It's more like you versus you. Because you got to be better the next time you come in. Like when people Sampson's back, she was competitive. She took the time to step aside and help her husband. You know, he won Miss Olympia. That was pretty good. Now he has to go back, make an adjustment, come back, and maybe take the title back from Derek Longford. Get back in the first place. That's the thing is, if you're willing to make those, not like I said, somebody said sacrifice, those investments in yourself to get you that next level, sometimes it's worth it.
Yep.
So, folks, I like to appreciate y'all for taking this time out here to talk about this. I will say this to other competitors out there who do have bad behavior. I was going to talk about this one person whose name I did not speak. It was a few years ago. It was a competitor. You might know who she is. I'm not going to speak her name because I call her Lord Voldemort. She had great physique, a great look to her. She could have been a great superstar, but the thing was, there was a shit that she did. And I'm not going to go into details of it. But she did that, and instead of just saying, "Okay, I did what I did. I'm going to put up front again," she had it down, and I met her. Actually met her. I think she had a lot of potential. There was a lot of people who were looking forward to it. And my man Big Keith would say he would tell about a situation what she did when she commented about certain people. But then she did what she did, and it affected her career, her life. That's the thing is sometimes we do dirt gets turned back onto you. If you do good, if you people like Andrea or people like I would say someone way Matai, not so much in a way, just those people who are willing, like Andrea said, like this, she loves competition. She loves y'all to step up and come in. Like actually, she invited people like Ashley Jones and Angela to step up, even Lavinia to step up. She likes that. It gives her fuel because that tells her. And like I just saw an interview Ashley did. She said we need people who want to invest in this sport, but it's hard because some people don't want to because they feel like they're gonna get looked sideways. But the thing is, you should do it because you want to do it, not because like this is why I do this. Why I have these live streams? Why we talk to you, interview you ladies? Because I want to get y'all's point. I want to hear from y'all. I want you to know that there's people out who want you to succeed. Well, yes, you're gonna have the other side who just don't want any because this is say like I said again, Monica's a lovely lady. Abby's a lovely lady. Lynn's a lovely lady. Randy's a lovely lady. Y'all like often I said, all the other guy says, y'all all beautiful. But you know what? People are going to have their opinions. And opinions like assholes. Everybody has one. So, anybody got something to say before I let you go?
Yes. What's your favorite cheat meal?
My favorite?
Yeah.
Oh, pasta.
Pasta. Oh man, it sounds good right now.
Yeah, pasta. I need to get back on the diet. It's been nice. I had to drop my trainer for a while. A lot of traveling and stuff. So
okay.
And have to. Yeah. So I've cut back with my trainer. So take time to get back on the diet soon. No more enjoying pasta.
No more pasta, huh? Man.
Yeah.
Well, folks,
thank you so much, George.
No, by saying you never have to. That's why I do this because y'all. I wish I could get. We had a good crowd. I know some ladies don't want to put themselves out there. You're not afraid because you don't care anymore. But the thing is, I feel like it might happen. If not this year, next year most definitely. You come in, you bring in good presentation. Forget, as you know, one person I follow, a fan of Bob, that's Nick Walker. Forget Bob. Who is he? There's like right now somebody put a petition out to take him off the Olympia as the MC. But you know what?
Yeah.
If you are determined to reach that level, even just to get that pro card, you should get it. Because not just because of what you bring into your physique and what the judges feel like is the proper look or criteria for the division. It is changing. If you look at women now like Zama Benta, I feel like her and Sharonica should have won the title because it was just shut out both Sarah and Natalia, shut them up. But you know what? I think that if you put the right people in the right places, we might have better circumstances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all.
So, folks, I appreciate it. This was a long one because we had.
Oh, whoa! I see that.
I mean, a lot of people here, a lot of people asking questions. I can't get all the questions. I do like to shout out my man Brown Baldy, Emmanuel. Raheem Hampton was here. My big brother Keith, he was trying to come back in. Josh, welcome. Thank you for coming through.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. My man KL.
Thank you very much.
My nephew here. Alex. Shout out to Lynn. Shout out to Abby. Shout out to Randy. Shout out to my man Jeremy. Great knowledge he often gives us. Shout out to you, Monica. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate it. One day we gotta meet one of these days.
All right, see y'all later.
All righty.
Good to see you, KL.
Thanks for having us.
Good luck, Monica.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
All righty.
Thanks. Y'all take care.
You too. I appreciate it. So, folks, I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. I think we got one more week left, and then holidays coming up. Thanksgiving around the corner. Halloween's just down the road, and Christmas is another month or so away. I mean, time's flying.
This year's going by fast.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
going fast and crazy too. So, folks, I appreciate my guests were here who do this live stream. Folks, if you have a topic you want me to seriously get into for MuscleTalk Monday, like I said, right now the season's going to wind down. After I think the biggest thing after this is Nationals, which is a pro qualifier. So after that, we're going to have a little drought for a good bit. There's also shows coming up like the Steve Carr show that's going to be next month. There's also the Romanian Muscle Fest, Atlantic Coast. We can talk about those shows, and also your subject that you feel like you really want to dig into it. If you're a competitor, also you want to talk about stuff going on in bodybuilding. That's why I have an open door. That's why I do these MuscleTalk Mondays. So just let me know. Shoot at me. You can check out my All the Way George page on IG. I have 2 accounts: my old account, and my other account. You can shoot me and let me know what you want to talk about, or what you want to share anything. Don't be afraid. This is what we have these forums for. So we want to hear from y'all, especially for the fans who want to support this sport.
No, we should do. We should do like a year-end award show for bodybuilding, for female bodybuilding.
Like, how about we do it like if we do something like that, maybe like that week before New Year's.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Forward to see who had the best something or some.
Yeah, like best pose or best physique.
That doesn't sound like a bad idea. I think that sounds like fun. Yeah.
Yeah, let me look at the calendar.
Fun thing.
The last Monday is going to be the 29th, so the New Year is going to fall on Thursday. So we can do something like that. I can see if any ladies want to come in and maybe give their thoughts. And,
help out.
Yeah. So, but thank you. That's a good idea, Josh. I appreciate that. So, folks, I'd like to thank you for your time. Thank you to my guests for coming through, and I wish y'all the best of the rest of the week. This is Always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I'm out. Good night, good luck, God bless, and have a good rest of your week.